quick thing before we begin. Me and Sean were originally playing Splatoon while he was telling me about Board. Short story, all that footage is lost, but you'll still hear us kind of mentioning it. I've tried to recover what I could from the file. This file is cursed, and I'll leave a note section below to explain all. Have a good watch.
So yeah, this last 10 minutes, I've been trying to join the room, and it said that you had. And I'm like, damn, maybe let's just keep playing different games.
Yeah, no, I've been fucking stuck. It said you joined the room. You joined. I hit go, and then it disconnected me. Then I tried to rejoin you. No matter what I did, it just wasn't going.
Yeah, and then it was like, all right, well, we're waiting for a spot to open up.
Yeah, that's what I kept saying for mine, but I kept waiting and nothing would happen.
So it put you in my queue and put me in your queue, but while neither one of us was actually there.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I just made a new room.
I'm so glad I pay for this service.
Oh, it's great. 10 out of 10 experience.
But you know, it's still better than Boruto.
Yeah, speaking of Boruto,
that was this was more compelling than the last 80 chapters.
Oh jeez. All right. Tell me.
Okay, so let's see, chapter 80. About how much did you glean from my smartphone trying to interpret my words through a car speaker?
You know what? I think we should just go crazy. Recant to me the entire tale of Boruto.
The entire tale of Boruto?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I hope you're ready for this Naruto Next Generations, because the first fucking 16 chapters is just the Boruto movie.
16 chapters?
16 chapters is the fucking Boruto movie.
Barely anything fucking happens in the movie.
I know that. We go over like the ethics of using like scientific ninja tools and how they're icky and ucky and bad, and all the ninjas Konohamaru uses it, and for some reason like I don't know why, like in the early chapters they completely designed Konohamaru like not a ninja. He looks like a kind of ethnically ambiguous guy at a YMCA. That is the best way I can describe him.
What?
Like you can't quite put your finger on it. You just know he's not white. And they end up changing it later, and then they go back to it, and it's like, wasn't Konohamaru supposed to be kind of a dweeb, and now he's just supposed to kind of be cool? And I don't like it. It made me feel weird. I'm like, I feel like you just sort of retconned this character into not himself at all. And also he's really great when people talk about him, but he sucks. He hasn't won a single fight. And they just I don't know how they really took some pages out of Disney Star Wars by just like, how can we assassinate everybody? Like, I don't want anyone getting out of this. Even Shikamaru's been assassinated. It's just like, Jesus, man.
How the fuck do you assassinate Shikamaru?
Shikamaru is basically just the author being a character anyways. So it's like, he just knew shit that it's like, how the fuck would you know that? How would you do that if you weren't the author? And they're like, I don't know, but we're going to have him do that, but as though he's still in Naruto, but he's actually in Boruto. So nothing makes sense. Fuck you. You're going to read it. And
you did.
Yeah. And I did, because people were like, yo, dude, it gets good. And I'm like, I don't know if I believe that, but I do love Naruto. I'll give it a shot. What's the worst that could happen?
Apparently a lot.
Apparently a lot. I am terminal. I have weeks to live, and it's all because of Boruto. It gave me cancer that bad. So First 16 chapters is just the Boruto movie. There's not a whole lot to say about that. After that, there's an arc where uh, Boruto's doing like a training with Naruto, and it turns out that in that fight with Momoshiki, Naruto was really captivated by how his hand Rinnegan worked. Then that one could absorb ninjutsu and the other one could dispel it, but like twice as powerful. So Naruto's white Zetsu hand is actually a robot hand now. No shit, actual robot hand.
Because you gotta make him like Luke Skywalker.
But better.
Of course.
Because you know how Star Wars, you can tell it's a robot hand.
Yeah.
Not in Naruto. It has a few lines on it that kind of look like tattoos, and like some lights, but it is nearly indistinguishable from a regular human hand. The technology's that good, and that's considered primitive compared to what the other people have.
What other people are there?
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay. Because I could have sworn there was like 5 villages in that one country of samurais from the movie.
Well, there are a lot of countries, but there's the new evil organization, the new, way better, totally cooler, super bad evil Akatsuki.
They're cooler Akatsuki.
They make the Akatsuki look like a bunch of bitches. They're so fucking cool. They're so fucking strong. Their powers include a fat guy, and another fat guy, and someone that gay women online really, really like, because she has stilettos and is blonde and has yellow lipstick.
Yellow lipstick doesn't look good.
It looks good on exactly one person, and that is Sniper Wolf from Metal Gear Solid.
Okay, got me there.
That is the only instance that I can think of where it looks good. But otherwise, it's few and far between. And I like the character's name is Delta. She has a fight with Naruto and is winning.
How?
Against
Naruto at the end is Jesus Christ. Same with Sasuke, but Naruto was stronger Jesus.
Well, they retcon that.
Of course they did.
Of course they. Why wouldn't they? Because if he stayed Jesus, there would be no more stories. It'd just be about him doing miracles.
He was able to stop people from dying already. Like how do you retcon that?
Well, you see, after the fight with Sasuke, so you know how Naruto and Sasuke sealed Kaguya?
Yeah.
That's a retcon. Kaguya is dead. Straight up dead. She's not sealed anymore, even though the Sun and Moon seals that Hagoromo gave Naruto and Sasuke were meant to reseal her. Not this time. they killed her.
Of course.
So they really had a Fox News urgent update. Man died in tasing by the police. Whoops. Yeah, okay. she's dead now.
Okay.
So that non-lethal technique definitely killed her.
You could argue that's better for her to be sealed. Instead of being sealed in some hell dimension. But it's still actually no, it's awful because she's Jesus. She was basically Ninja God.
Super Ninja God.
Yeah, she was Super Ninja God, and then they were Ninja Jesus.
And somehow they made her even more contrived in Boruto. But we'll get to that. Because she was already kind of a jack in the box ass pull, anyways.
Yeah.
That didn't make any fucking sense. Okay, yeah. So the Boruto movie happens.
Naruto has a robot hand.
Naruto has a robot hand that is nearly indistinguishable from a human hand, except for a few seams and lights. But otherwise, it looks completely normal, and it feels normal, except where the seams are. and he sticks that in a wall that he makes out of mud. And Boruto does this really, really super awesome. Oh man, God, I wish I was him. Jutsu, where they're in the that one arena where Rock Lee and Gaara fought, where it's got the hand signs and the tuning exams.
Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like one of the coolest fights early on.
Yeah. They're in that room. Naruto makes a mud wall that covers like half of it, and Boruto releases a water style so strong that it fills up the whole room, and then uses a lightning style move just as strong that would like incinerate Naruto. But Naruto puts his hand through the wall, and then Boruto's like, "I got you now," and then he's like, "Wait a minute, the hand is absorbing my ninjutsu. How is that working?" And then Naruto sneaks up behind him and kicks him in the face. And it turns out not only is that hand able to absorb crazy high level ninjutsu, it's also remote controlled, so it can cast remote controlled jutsu as well and absorb them.
Wait.
And this is after they had the talk where they're like, guns are bad, don't use ninja tools.
Guns are bad.
And
Don't
then
use ninja gun. By the way, my arm is a fucking trigun cannon.
and it is way more devastating than the fucking one that Boruto was using. And then Naruto's like, yeah, I know I told you that guns are bad, but like, it's okay if you use a gun not at school. And it's like, okay, that does make a little bit more sense. You don't want someone like whipping out a Glock at basic training. It's still dumb. It's still dumb. You kind of trounced on your own message like a chapter later, but whatever.
Nothing like a hypocritical hero.
Oh yeah, and they will not stop hammering that home, because it just gets worse.
Oh.
So Naruto has his remote control handgun, and then the scientist that gave Boruto a gun.
You figured Naruto would have just kicked his ass out of the village, or really kept an eye on him, but...
Well, it turns out he was under a powerful genjutsu this whole time.
Sure.
And Boruto's like, why isn't this guy exiled? Which is a good question. He not only gave Boruto a gun, but he also came in and gave Momoshiki a huge buff of power right after they beat him, because ninjutsu would be utterly ineffective and actually help him. And so Naruto and Sasuke did that huge, awesome, cool taijutsu fight with Momoshiki just for the one guy to come ruin it. And so it's like, why isn't he like in jail? And then Naruto's like, well, just like Shikamaru's my advisor, and just like Sasuke's like my shadow Hokage, this guy, what's his name, Kakusuke or whatever, he is also like another Hokage, but for science. And I'm like, excuse me, like okay. All right, there was a lot of things in like Kakashi's time as Hokage that like really amped up the technology level. That's why they have bullet trains and teleporters and stuff now.
Teleporters?
Teleporters. There was one girl at the end of the Great Ninja War, if you remember her, who worked for the Raikage, and her whole thing was, it wasn't quite like a Kekkei Genkai in that she was born with it. She was just so latently talented with lightning release transportation jutsu that pretty much only she could do it. It's like Tsunade's assistant Shizune. She has a supernatural talent for medical ninjutsu and can recreate organs with chakra. So it's like, that's not something that only she can do because like she's born with it. She's just that talented. Anyone could do it, but right now she's the only one that can, if that makes sense.
I know sense.
It's still dumb, but
I mean, it makes more sense than like, jutsus are basically magic, so it's Better than fucking I invented a teleporter.
Yeah. Well, they based a teleporter off of Mabui's jutsu, which was basically just lightning style summoning jutsu that converted you into lightning and sent you across vast distances. And really, the only people that could use it were her, being the jutsu's caster, and the Raikage, having lightning armor. So he wasn't affected by it. And then Tsunade, when she activated her regen thing, because they're like, this would normally kill somebody. But with your 100 healings, instant regeneration jutsu, you should be able to live through it.
Yeah.
And she did. So they based the teleporters off that, and now it's just a machine.
Of course, you can just look at something like, I know how to make a technology out of this.
Of course. That's why we still have we have so many like prosthetic feet. Don't you know? Because the human foot, everyone has one. It should be simple to replicate, right?
Yeah.
We don't actually have a working prosthetic human foot. That's why we have all these like spring ones, because the ankle is apparently way too fucking complicated.
Yeah, the ankle's impossible. Doesn't make sense.
So
it's troll logic.
A teleporter's second grade math, so anyone can do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have bullet trains, teleporters, but they call them thunder trains, and they're basically the Metra because they got the fucking antennas and all that on them.
Of course.
So maybe Katasuke or whatever his name is became very important during Kakashi's era, but we don't know because they won't fucking tell anyone what Kakashi really did, other than it was a time of technological growth.
Well, obviously.
Obviously. And that's why they have skyscrapers above the village and all that too.
Which, by the way,
because it
wasn't
way to
make
enough.
it look like shit.
Yeah, right. Let's put Chicago over Mount Rushmore.
It's so ugly.
That makes a lot of fucking sense. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you fucking should.
Like they have they have Mount fucking Rushmore. It's like, why would you make it ugly?
Why would you put the city on top of it? That's so dumb. You have all of these, like, all this room, all these fucking trees in every direction. Why not cut down the trees?
I mean, is the village hidden in the leaves? It's kind of, I think I would imagine it'd be a lot harder to hide the village hidden in the leaves when there's a fucking Chicago sticking out.
There's Chicago around it, but now the Chicago's on top of it. So there's skyscrapers sticking out above the trees. It makes even less sense. So Naruto's like, yeah, guns are good as long as you're a good gunner. And Boruto's like, well, I hate him, and I hate him, and I hate you, and I hate guns, and what did he say? He's never ever going to use scientific ninja tools ever again. And then Katasuke gives him a lightsaber, and he's like, okay.
A fucking lightsaber?
A lightsaber. I'll send you a clip. It is as dumb as you think it is. It's a chakra saber, but it has the same fucking sound effect as a lightsaber too. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you can't use that.
No, you can.
You can't?
Yeah. So, as far as I understand, when George Lucas made Lucasfilm and THX and all that, when they made Star Wars and it was successful, one of his many philanthropy projects was he made basically every sound effect free to use, which is why in some animes you can hear a Rancor and shit.
Okay. Then that one's no harm, no foul.
It's
just
lazy.
Tacky.
Yeah, it's lazy and tacky. Obviously, you're not allowed to call it a lightsaber, but
yeah, it's a chakra saber.
Yeah.
And they do say chakra saber, not chakra sword or anything like that. They call it a saber. So it's like, okay.
Did they at least make it look like the blade kind of different, or no?
It looks more like a welding torch than an actual lightsaber. So when they talk about ignition, that makes a little bit more sense, because like a lightsaber is just like a raw laser, basically. Whereas this one looks more like it's projecting out a flame, but it's like chakra.
All right.
but it's a lightsaber. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, so he gets that, and he can use it immediately,
Of
but
course he
it's
can.
super chakra depletive. Yeah, of course he can. Why wouldn't he? He's the best dumb guy in the whole world. He's kind of a goofball, but he's also a genius. Um, and
You know, they work with
he
like
uses
a
it.
few characters, but you can't have 50 characters in a row like that.
Well, you see, they all are. You'll notice I haven't brought up any other character yet.
Well, I'm
That's
afraid what you're
because
gonna say because like I watched the first couple episodes of the anime, and the only good character was a filler character. That was the purple hair chick who had
well, it
the
turns out
artificial tailed beast sealed inside her. And it's like, wow, this is really interesting. And they're in the anime, they're like, Naruto's like, I'm just gonna go kick its ass, and like, swear to God, you better not, because it absorbs chakra, and you have so fucking much. If it touches you, we're dead. It's like, wow, that's interesting. Can't wait to
he's
see what
not
they do
actually
with
a filler character. I didn't tell you, but later on, you know how I said that Sarada's immune to the one girl's charm bullshit?
that. Yeah.
That other character is the only other person that's immune to it.
So it's gonna be a
So
stupid ass love triangle.
probably because she likes Boruto, but Sarada likes Boruto, and she's like, "You like
Nice.
Boruto, don't you? You better act on it, otherwise I'm gonna act on it."
Why would
And
Sarah?
in the manga, that girl's tailed beast thing is canon, but that doesn't happen in the manga. So the story is only told in the anime, which makes me wonder if the anime is just the canon now, because the manga doesn't do fucking anything for anybody. Like, it's just Boruto, Kawaki, and occasionally Naruto and Sasuke and Shikamaru. They don't expand on anybody. It is just bare bones, only what's relevant to the plot, and you know everyone's name, and at the end it gives like their little data book entries and like what their powers are and what they can do, how smart they are, how strong they are, but nothing as far as like character growth or like interactions between different characters. None of that. That's all in the anime. So all these people are here, but you only know Boruto. So it is the worst case scenario
So it's
of
a shitty Naruto, but you don't even get the joy of other characters.
yes. It is like he is the worst thing, and they put him on all of the speakers, and they turn all the speakers all the way up.
Oh my
It
lord!
is, but Ryan, it's unbearable.
But right, it's even worse than it sounds.
It is so bad. So the scientist gives Boruto a gun, and then Boruto doesn't like it. Then he gives him a lightsaber, and then Boruto's like, "Oh, I like it," and then he turns it on, and then he almost passes out because of how much chakra it uses, and that's Boruto's whole thing, is he doesn't have a lot of chakra, supposedly. They're really wishy-washy on that, because the whole thing is like, oh, Boruto can only make 4 shadow clones.
Yeah, I remember that was
Because
a
he,
thing when we watched the movie, because it was like, he only needs 4. He has only a little bit of chakra, but he makes a fucking Rasengan, which is, if I recall, was supposed to be very chakra intensive.
yeah, like if you can make 1 Rasengan a day, that was supposed to be pretty impressive.
Yeah, and
Um,
Naruto's whole thing is he just had a fuckload of chakra, even without Kyuubi.
yeah, because he was a half Uzumaki. They retconned that sort of, but at least as far as retcons go, that's more like just learning more about clans. So it's like that's one I'm more okay with, because it's like not, when they made Nagato Pain an Uzumaki, and they're like that's how he could have the Rinnegan, is because you need someone with a huge amount of chakra reserves. So it needs to either be like an Uzumaki, a Senju, or a Jinchuriki, or like a full-blooded Uchiha warlord. Otherwise, they would have the Rinnegan, but if they used it, they couldn't. They just don't have the tools to do that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes enough sense. And then Naruto having more battle experience and having the QB inside him, that just naturally grows his chakra more, because they're just playing off each other. They're both pumping each other up. The more chakra Naruto has, that means the more chakra QB has. The more chakra QB has, it causes Naruto's chakra to grow because it's always feeding his chakra. So it's a little arc reactor in him. Makes sense why he has so much.
Yeah.
Even though when you really boil it down, it's just protag syndrome. But whatever.
Yeah, but it's a shonen. That's fine. You can accept things like
Yeah.
that, but you can't accept it when it's a very bad character with a very bad design.
No. Who can use the Rasengan 8 times in a single fight, but only
Are
4 shadow clones. But in that same fight, he also uses shadow clones.
are
So,
you?
and that
Wait,
would,
really? 8 times?
yes, 8 times. And the shadow clones, why he can't make that many is because they divide the chakra evenly between the shadow clones.
So he should be able to make
So,
it 8 times 5.
uh, yeah. So each one of them has a fifth of his strength.
Yeah, so you'd be able to make 40? 40 Rasengans, but yet only 4 Shadow Clones? Is the Shadow Clone just eats way more chakra than we thought? Because every motherfucker could use it.
Uh, Everyone could use it. Multi-shadow clones was a thing for Naruto just because of how much chakra he had, because he could evenly distribute 1/1000th of his strength and it wouldn't be noticeable. So that's the whole deal with that. Which is why it makes absolutely no sense to where Boruto can only fifth his strength, but still make super Hokage level ninjutsu 8 times in a day. 8 times in a fight, let alone a day. Doesn't make any sense. But we're getting sidetracked. I skipped it. I skipped an arc. How stupid am I? So there, Boruto had a mission. This was Boruto's Zabuza mission, the equivalent of.
I'm sure it's going to be very cool, just like Zabuza.
So I'm gonna whittle it down for you. So they attempted to do some world building in that there's the ninja cards that they used to have in like the bingo book. They made that a trading card game because most of the bad ninjas were already dead and was confirmed dead by Edo Tensei in the Fourth Great Ninja War. So they just turned them into fucking Pokemon cards. And it's a little morbid, but it's also pretty funny. And poor Shino was one of the most common cards, but his abilities are really good. So people are like, "Oh man, fucking Shino. Well, I guess I'll keep him in my deck." And then Shino, being the teacher at the academy, was like, "I can't cry in front of the kids, otherwise they won't respect me as a teacher." And it's like, "Oh, that's cute. That's something I actually find endearing." And it's like, we could do with more of that. Too bad that's the only case of that happening. And it's like, man, you had such like a fraction of a good idea and just squandered completely. Boruto gets assigned to babysit the daimyo's child, who's just like some stuck up rich kid, and he just buys a shitload of these ninja cards. And Boruto's only been getting like his only super rare cards are all just Naruto. He has 7 Naruto cards, but he really wants a Sasuke card because fucking of course he does. And the daimyo's kid has one, and he's just like, "I'll just give it to you." And Boruto's like, "No, I have to earn it through RNG." And the kid's like, "Fucking why? I'll just give it to you." And he's like, "Consider it payment. You are working for this, right?" But he's like, "Yeah, you are working, aren't you? So consider this payment." And Boruto's like, "No, I have to earn it." He's like, "This is also earning it." And Boruto's like, "No." He's like, "How about you teach me ninjutsu and I'll give you the card?" And then Boruto's like, "Okay." And so Boruto teaches him how to throw a shuriken, and that's it. And then the time ends, and he's like, "Okay, I'll give you the card." And Boruto's like, "No, I have to earn it." And then he's like, "Okay, fucking whatever." And then slips it in his pocket anyways. And then Boruto gets back to the village and realizes he still has the card in his pocket. And he's like, "Oh, I gotta give it back to this kid." In that time, the Akatsuki's replacement guy comes in, and this is like, apparently this guy's like a big deal. I can't remember his name, and I'm not gonna try.
That's a good sign of a good villain.
Well, Wait until you hear his power, Ryan. It is crazy. You know how like Akatsuki had like this one guy who's immortal and the other guy who's also immortal and can like steal people's chakra natures and like rip out their hearts to extend his life. And
Yeah, he was
then you
really
have like
cool.
then you have like the paper guy, you fucking Itachi, Kisame, the tailless tail beast.
Yeah.
Well, this guy's this guy's secret ability.
All
Are you
right.
ready?
I'm hyped. You got me hyped. This
Are
is
you
gonna be the
ready?
coolest shit ever.
You're gonna fucking shit your pants. You're never gonna be Goku. Goku couldn't stand a chance.
Oh
All
man,
right.
you got me hyped now.
The Omni King gone. You ready?
Yeah.
His super awesome technique is transformation jutsu.
Can't can't everyone do that?
But it is a requirement to graduate elementary school.
Yeah, because wasn't that the whole first episode? Is because Naruto sucks at it?
Yeah. hmm but hang on. This one is worse. The thing where it's like, hey, you could just transform into somebody just by like knowing their features and like studying them. Well, this one, you can transform into somebody,
I made a room.
but there's a catch.
Okay.
There's a catch.
Yeah, this catch is gonna be awesome. I know it.
So the full name of the jutsu is corpse transformation. What you have to do is eat the still living brain of your target, and then you can transform into them at any time. But so long as you have enough chakra, you can copy all of their abilities, which is a plus, I suppose, and you gain their memories.
Okay, so he has a shitty Sharingan.
But it's more like you just like copy their data after you eat their brain, but you can only use their techniques if you
Wait,
have the amount of chakra required.
wouldn't that cause like rabies? Not rabies. Mental problems because when people eat people, it goes poorly.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
I made
But
it.
you see, the other this guy's other thing is that he's a big fat guy, and he's ugly. It's okay. So he tries to eat the head of the daimyo's kid, while he's still alive, and it's really funny because they try to make it like all serious and like really scary. Like this guy is like, oh fuck, this guy is uh big time scary. Oh, Akatsuki, who? These guys are tough, but it's just so fucking worthless. It's really funny. And he gets
The
beat
fact that
by.
his special power is elementary school graduation plus, like, but it's so dumb.
It's so dumb. But they try to play it so straight. It's so funny. And then he gets beat by a genin and a kid who can barely throw a knife.
That's a very good establishing your villains right there.
Very,
Makes them
very
very
good.
threatening.
Oh, I forgot the other thing.
Uh-huh.
So Boruto got the karma mark from Momoshiki when Momoshiki died. Do you know what that is?
Other than it gives him like a weird gay super form. No.
So the karma mark, and let me know if this sounds familiar. At any point during a fight, an Otsutsuki member can place a mark on you that is comprised of part of their genetic code. Now, this genetic code contains basically a whole copy of that Otsutsuki member that, when accessed, will grant you a significant amount of power and also slowly transform you into that person or make you more subjective to their will. And so much to the point where if you continue to use it, that Otsutsuki member can revive themselves through that karma marking.
Okay. Why would you activate it?
Because he needed the power.
Of course he did.
Now, where have you heard that before?
God,
Does it sound familiar at all?
it does. I'm just struggling to place it.
Does it sound anything at all like Sasuke's curse mark from Orochimaru? Because they do the same thing. However,
Yeah, because
Orochi,
Orochimaru grows out of Sasuke, doesn't he?
he does, and then he can also be pulled out of like Anko in the fourth grade Shinobi World War.
Yeah. Okay, I'm starting to remember now.
So the little trick with the karma marking is that once an Otsutsuki member revives through one karma, any other karmas they have around disappear, but the people get to keep the power. So it's actually worse than Orochimaru's because Orochimaru can infinitely res, which I just think is so funny that their whole like they forgot the own thing they did.
So is every villain just a shitty version of Orochimaru? Because like his whole thing was supposed to be sciencey shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? Why the fuck do they all have crazy science powers?
Even so, some of them don't even have as cool stuff as Orochimaru does. Orochimaru has a pair of glasses, fucking glasses. It's just glasses that can copy any dojutsu that he sees while wearing the glasses.
So artificial Sharingan, kind of.
Well, he can also just make artificial Sharingan. He figured out the formula and he made a bunch.
Oh, of course.
Of course. But it's like Orochimaru came to Naruto's house, looked at Hinata with the glasses on, and then Orochimaru had a Byakugan. They're just glasses.
Again, one, why is Orochimaru still alive?
Because I guess Sasuke fucking neutered him at the end of the fourth Great Shinobi World War, and they're like, well, he is a really good scientist, I guess.
I guess.
It's like he also did a lot of like
heinous
human
shit.
experimentation and like a lot of human experimentation on children with a body count.
He killed the third Hokage.
It's a body count that make Hitler blush.
Yeah.
Like this guy is a little extreme. but yeah, he's still around.
Of course.
Why wouldn't he be? Why wouldn't he be?
All right. So I guess we should probably get back on track. So, a fat guy who's supposed to replace the Akatsuki gets beat by a nerd and a retard.
Yes. And in that fight, Boruto subconsciously activates his karma marking, which gives him like tattoos all over his body that are like wicked, sick, and totally cool. I can't wait to see every DeviantArt kid make their own OC with a tattoo. Except DeviantArt's not a thing anymore.
I mean, it is, but it's not always popular.
I heard they did something to it where it's got like all corporate and shit, and it's just all yucky. I don't know how the fuck you DeviantArt corporate, but they somehow did.
I won't get into it. I thought you meant like the website went down.
Oh no, it got changed into like some like really sterilized and not creative portfolio thing or something.
Yeah, it's pretty bland. Which is very unfortunate.
All the flavor's gone. But anyways, yeah, so Boruto subconsciously activates his karma marking, and the fat guy's like, "Oh, are you with the group?" And then he fucking dies. And then we get into the scientific ninja tool thing where Boruto gets a lightsaber. And then, do you remember Ow?
Ow?
Ow. Do you remember Ow?
No.
Come on, Ryan. You gotta remember Ow.
I feel like you're trolling me.
You seriously don't remember Ow from the Hokage Summit in Naruto Shippuden, who was the right hand to the Mizukage and then disappeared up until the point where the Ten Tails bombed the Shinobi Alliance headquarters. You don't remember Ao?
You say these things, but you are correct, sir. I don't fucking recognize that at all.
All right. Well, I guess you're a fake fan. Because
Dang.
Ao,
I'm a fake
he was,
Naruto fan.
yeah, he was very critical. You see,
Was he even in the game?
he was a character. And he was in Shippuden. Do you remember Chojuro?
It sounds familiar.
He was the Mizukage's guy with the glasses and the big sword.
Yeah, yeah.
Ao was the counterpart to Chojuro. And his whole thing was he was a sensory type ninja who at some point in the Third Great Shinobi World War managed to steal a Byakugan. But he's a hidden miss ninja. And he's the one who saw Danzo using Kodo Matsukame on the samurai leader in the Hokage summit when they were deciding to do something about the Akatsuki.
All right.
So that point is important, but he's overall a very minor character. But not anymore. You see, somehow, in that bombing from the Ten Tails that killed Shikamaru's dad, Ino's dad, the Raikage's assistant who could teleport, the entire sensory division of the Shinobi Alliance, all of those people, Ao was the only person to survive. He lost his Byakugan because it was crushed in rubble.
How do you
He
just
also
crush your eye in rubble?
Well, he did crush other things, but it's miraculous that you can crush your eye without crushing your head.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
I don't understand how that works, but it happened.
Right.
Now he has like half of a metal skull because I guess his head was crushed, but not that bad. You know, it's like when you drop an egg and it cracks, but like it doesn't go through the membrane, so it doesn't leak everywhere.
A little destroyed.
Yeah, it's still fine. You can still boil that. So Ao is on a train while they're escorting Science Man to Science Man's lab, and Boruto is like, "I hate science. It sucks and it's dumb." And then Ao is like, "Really? If you hate science, then you hate me."
Lightsaber?
And
Wait, how the fuck does that translate?
Huh?
You hate science? You hate me. I am science.
Because Ao is now a walking prosthetic scientific ninja tool. Because he was so fucked up during the Ten Tails attack that like both of his legs and his left arm were destroyed, and so Katasuke made him new robotic prosthetics that somehow aren't perfect. They're very, very much robotic. And he was like, "Oh, well, if you hate science, you hate me because I'm more science than man now." And then he grabs a screwdriver and holds it to Boruto's throat on a train and threatens to kill him. And then he's like, "I'm just joking with you. I'm a non-threatening old man. I'm not a ninja anymore." And then it turns out he's part of the new Akatsuki, which was it's such a betrayal. Oh God, the humanity. All right, I loved him so much. I can't go back. I wish I could go back before I knew, but now I know too much, and it's ruined. They've assassinated him.
Right.
But yeah, he's evil. And then he's like, "Yeah, we gotta recover the thing." And they're like, "What thing?" So Ao was sent to intercept an airship.
An airship.
An airship. They have airships now, and on that airship there was cargo for the new Akatsuki. Well, I should tell you their name. Their name is Kara.
Oh,
Kara.
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 That is a dumb fucking name.
Yeah, and it's really similar to Karma, like the Karma mark. So there's the Karma mark, and then there's Kara, the organization.
Very well thought out.
Yeah. And most members of Kara have a Karma.
Why not just call him Karma at that point?
Right? Ryan, it might be a little silly. It just might be a little silly.
Just maybe. Just a tad.
So, Ao is part of Kara, and he's talking to a masked man on the train. And the masked man has an affinity for toads. Strange. He also has white hair. Strange. And they're like, we gotta go get the package. And then Boruto and his team, this is the second interaction we've seen with Boruto and his team doing a task together since chapter 1 when they were introduced. And it's like, this is Boruto's team.
And
Look at Konohama, remember
what
him?
Fucking chapter is this?
Chapter 30? Yeah. Yeah. And so they're like, we gotta go get the package. And then Boruto and his team find the downed airship, and they actually do a little bit of like kind of cool world building. It's still dumb, but I at least see the thought process because they encounter battle droids. And now you might be thinking, Sean, that just sounds straight up dumb. Well, the way that the battle droids are constructed is actually a revisit from the beginning of Naruto Shippuden with the Hidden Sands puppets. But they found a way to make the puppets autonomous without having to kill people to put a soul in a puppet.
So it's a storyline.
Yeah, it's a thread that they established in Shippuden, and they've come back to now in Boruto.
All right, that's better than fucking Karma and Karma marks.
So, the Kara and the Karma and the Karam and the car and my car insurance and Carmack at the Car Fox. It's something, and they don't bring it up again.
Of course.
I hope you enjoyed that little snippet of a plot thread, because it doesn't come back.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, what were these puppets defending? And then Ao shows up and he's like, oh, I'm a geezerly old man. By the way, here is my chakra Gatling gun.
A chakra Gatling gun.
Gatling gun, yes. It shoots micro scrolls of fire jutsu.
Ninja guns were a terrible idea. You called it immediately.
Yeah. So it shoots little bullet-sized scrolls of fireball jutsu. Not kidding. God, I wish I was kidding. So he does that, and I forgot to mention, Katasuke has an Iron Man suit. But
what?
Yeah, with like jet boosters and everything. The only thing it's lacking is like a helmet, and rather than repulsors, it has dual gauntlets that have absorbing Rasengans, basically, where it's a black hole that you form like a Rasengan that absorbs ninjutsu. So I wonder if that's going to come up.
Is this subtle foreshadowing you're telling me?
Oh, I couldn't possibly say. You see, foreshadowing is a skill, and I don't want to say anything in Boruto was very skilled, because it has too much credit.
Ouch.
So Katasuke has an Iron Man suit with his absorbing Rasengans, and so he jumps in front of everybody for his big hero moment to absorb the fire style ninjutsu. And so Ao sees that, he's like, oh, hey, that's neat, and just walks around him after dropping his gun knocks him out, and takes one of the gauntlets. So now Ao has that. So now Ao can absorb their ninjutsu. So that's great. And then
Fantastic.
Boruto tries to get the drop on Ao, and Ao, his whole left arm, Ryan, is actually a double-sided Darth Maul chakra saber.
Wouldn't that explode his chakra?
Uh-huh. Because they're like, oh yeah, the chakra sabers are like, they're like, oh, it's a technology that only we have, and it's really experimental and all this. But nope, he has one, and he stabs Boruto with it. But Boruto's fine because it's a shadow clone, because he can do that. And then he realizes it was a shadow clone and grabs Boruto's lightsaber to kill Boruto with his own weapon. And then Boruto just clasps his hand on it, and that drains Ao's chakra. And then he goes to use like a ninjutsu on Ao. And then Ao goes to block it with his Rasengan Jutsu Absorbing Gauntlet. And then Boruto had the other one the whole time. And then he used it on Ao's. And they canceled each other out. And then Ao lost. Until it turns out Ao had another technique, a little thing we call predator drones. And no, I'm not kidding.
What the fuck is this fanfic level shit? No, that's not even fair, because fanfic is probably written better.
Fanfic is it's written by a fan. So there's a key difference. This is written by, I can only assume, a slime mold, maybe like a nematode, some mold on a keyboard.
Like it's on a keyboard from being in a swamp.
It's pretty bad. Written by Rain. Rain on like my outside computer office. So Ao uses his predator drones to blow up the battlefield, and then he starts using.
You have to say he uses his predator drones.
He uses his predator drones, of which I think he has. It's either 4 or 11, and why I don't know. It's because I kind of glazed over. I was just kind of. I felt very hurt. I felt personally offended by what they were doing. He uses the predator drones to create a column of light around Konohamaru and nearly kill him until, Boruto activates his karma mark, and then he absorbs the ninjutsu from that, and then I actually forget how they take out Ao. I think they just hit him again. Oh, wait, no, I remember. The guy with the toads takes out Ao.
Aren't they both Nadakats or Kara?
They're both they're both Kara, and you find out this guy's name is Kashin Koji, and he has this ability with he can do it with kunai, and he can do it with his toads, where if the toad touches you or the kunai touches you, or if he touches you, you catch fire with an inextinguishable flame that goes as long as he says. Now,
isn't that the Uchiha, the Sasuke and Itachi's Mangekyou Sharingan power?
yes, but this one isn't black.
What color is it? Fucking purple?
Nope, it's just regular fire, but it functions just like Amaterasu, but better, because he can effectively psychically control these toads, so he doesn't even have to be looking at you to use it on you. He just has to have toads out.
Just has to have toads out. Okay.
It has to have toads out, or hit you with a knife, or touch you. So it's Amaterasu, but better. There's not too many things that are Naruto techniques, but better in Boruto, but this is one. I forgot to mention, he doesn't have regular toads. See, they're called steam toads, and they look a little bit robotic. Because why not? Fuck it.
You keep mentioning all this sci-fi bullshit, and it keeps sounding worse.
Fuck it, who cares, right? I read it, so it's for somebody, I suppose. And then Ao is dead. He burned to death, and they go and they find the airship, but all the battle droids are dead. And they're like, what could have done this? And then they find, totally not Sasuke, Kawaki. But he has a really cool face tattoo. It's the number 4.
Isn't number 4 the unlucky number in Japan? Or the number
Yeah,
of
it
death?
means death.
Yeah.
The word for 4 and the word for death are very close, both being like koros or something.
Subtle.
Which is actually not a connection I made. So thanks for that. I thought it was just because of this next piece of information. Kawaki is 100% made of scientific ninja tools.
How does that... What does that even mean? How the fuck are you made of wrenches?
Well,
It's like,
well,
I'm
you
made of
see,
wrenches and guns.
Ryan, you dumb fucking idiot. He's made of nanomachines.
Oh, of course. My favorite.
Nanomachines in the ninja world, and is once again, but 100% completely indistinguishable from an average person. He looks perfect.
Does he have feelings as well?
He also has feelings, and they're all angst. And he even on his fucking coat, it's like a knockoff Uchiha like fishing bobber. You know what I mean?
Why?
It's the Uchiha fishing bobber without the little tail at the bottom, so it's just a circle, two half circles that are silver instead of red and white. I don't know why. They never explain it, but yeah, he's made of nanomachines, and you're like, okay, so what does that do for him? Well, he also has a karma marking, and
Okay.
his nanomachines let him rapidly expand and divide his cells, which, according to their own data book and everything they've told me, is all robotic. Which means there should be a finite number of those things, but it makes his limbs into weapons and appendages that extend out like volcanic claws. They look like they're made of lava rocks.
Shouldn't he be like a weird flesh metal monster? Like some
Yeah,
eldritch
it
horror is what he should look like?
should look like. You know, it kind of works like Prototype. You remember that?
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like it looks cool like Prototype.
No, it doesn't look cool like Prototype, but they thought it did. You can tell they really thought it did. So he's got his Prototype powers, but it's lava and rock and nanomachines and way too cool, super ninja. And he gets stopped by yet another really fat guy. But this fat guy has Mega Man guns and crab claws.
Mega Man guns and crab claws.
Yes, and for I don't know why, it is the best fight in the Boruto anime, besides the Momoshiki one, is Kawaki versus this guy, whose name is Boro. He also has a Bane mask, because in a previous fight with Kawaki, because I guess he has a lot of temper tantrums, Kawaki ripped off his jaw. So there's a little bit of world building for you. You won't get any more.
Oh, okay, I just won't get any more.
You won't get any more. He ripped off his jaw. That's all you need to know. He's Bane with crab claws and Mega Man. So Kawaki fights Boro because Boruto calls him a brat, and I guess that was enough to trigger him beyond belief. So that really shook Kawaki to his core and made him contemplate life.
By calling him a brat.
And by calling him a brat.
That is the most devastating thing that boy had ever heard.
Yes, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a flesh metal monster, but calling him a brat, that's just a step too far.
That's not too far, Ryan. And I won't stand for it like that. Yeah, it's just too far. He's just a boy. So calls him a brat, and that sends Kawaki into a rage that leads him into using what's the Dragon Ball technique that fucking Gogeta uses? It's like the sun, the star sparkle
Stardust
thing.
Breaker?
Yeah, that. But way edgier. Kawaki does Yeah, he does that to Boro and blows away his whole fucking body and causes so much collateral damage, it almost kills Boruto's team and all them. And then he passes out because, oh man, he's just so mysterious and edgy. Fuck, I love him so much. He's so cool, way better than Sasuke. And then, for some reason,
Oh no, I don't
so,
like the laughing.
so fucking dumb. Hey Ryan, if you are working with what is now a known terrorist organization, where would you interrogate a potential terrorist?
Well, I would assume I would take them to a very secure and safe location, to which I can interrogate them all I fucking want.
Okay, okay, and that's fair. Where would you keep one of those?
I don't know, maybe like a prison and a volcano that they Leaf Village has.
Well, you see, you're wrong and also stupid
Of
because
course,
they take him to the White House,
they take them to the fucking
the Hokage office, in the office to get interrogated by Naruto.
the fat guy or Kawaki. Kawaki,
Kawaki,
yeah, okay,
that guy has been reduced to
yeah.
atoms.
I'm just double checking.
Yeah, they,
Jesus.
they take Kawaki to the Hokage's office to interrogate him there, where it's not only Naruto interrogating him, but also Shikamaru. Mind you, they do have an interrogation unit and a prison and a torture room, and they have one person who specializes in physical torture, and the other one specializes in mental torture, and the one who does mental torture is Ino, the girl who can literally climb inside your brain.
I was about to say, couldn't they just have Ino solve a lot of these issues, or Shikamaru even,
They could have Ino solve a lot of those issues,
or just
and in fact,
fuck
they
even Shino? Because my God, could you imagine being locked in a room full of insects that are just like slowly eating at you
I'd tell you anything you wanted to know.
within an hour? Probably 30
Like
seconds.
less.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Easy. You're done.
And Shino is on record for saying that not only could Shino have been like the leader of his clan, he could have been a candidate for Hokage if his ethics were looser. Because of all like the super powerful insects his clan has access to, which is all canon. It was all stuff they established pretty early on as like, yeah, these are things that the Aburame clan has access to. But Shino's like, it's not really ethical. I don't really want to do that. What if he did? He would be one of the most powerful people in the world.
So instead of having Shino, Ino, Shikamaru, fuck, grab Sasuke, any of these retards to just interrogate the little shit, they bring him to Naruto. Has Naruto interrogated anyone other than a friendship speech?
No, nope. He's just president, and that's it.
You know, I would trust Biden with interrogation. I'm sure it would go swimmingly.
All right, listen here. You're a threat to where are we?
Do you know?
Something. I don't know.
Do you know that my leg hairs turn gold in the sun?
You look just like my daughter. Oh, you're so attractive. uh, Joe? I'm sorry. You're right. You're a terrorist.
Just like my
uh,
son.
sorry. Uh, but yeah. So they bring him to the Oval Office to interrogate him, and he says he doesn't know who he is. I have a dark past. I'm a very troubled character. Look at how deep I am.
He's just so cool.
And so cool. Oh my god, Ryan, he's so fucking cool. And and you should love him. And Naruto's like, you know what? I do love you. And as a matter of fact, you're gonna live with me. You're gonna be my son. And Kawaki said, what? And Naruto's like, well, I am the strongest person here, and if Kawaki is this big of a threat, you should definitely have the strongest person watch him, right?
What kind of retard logic is that? You have a bug
Uh,
man. You have shadow men.
I would call it ham-fisted at best.
Oh yeah, Naruto. By the way, we're living with a terrorist now, and hey Hinata, guess what? With our 8-year-old daughter?
I think she's 5.
Oh, with our 5-year-old daughter, even better. With our 5-year-old daughter, we're gonna have a crazy ass who I found in the woods live with
Yeah,
her.
a very unknown quantity. The only thing we do know about him is a tie to a terrorist organization. He's gonna live with us for a little while.
Does Hinata just take the ass on the chin, going, "Yeah, that's fine."
You never, ever, Ryan, you never, ever get to see Hinata's reaction to anything. She doesn't exist. The moment she was married to Naruto, she was effectively dead.
That,
He is gone.
that, but like,
Gone.
I'm not even the biggest fan of Hinata, but okay.
It's so dirty. It is so dirty.
I remember there was a joke
Uh,
when the Boruto movie came out. He not like Boruto and Naruto have to go fight the final boss, and she's just like, "Okay, bye." Wait,
and
what about Hanabe? Just make Hanabe watch his stupid ass. Hanabe's fucking like the Kakashi of that generation. And could she just seal his ass? Chakra
I'm
Prince?
sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know who you're talking about. That person doesn't exist.
Of course, she was a cool character,
Like,
or she has a cool design for her Boruto form.
fucking. I think Hanabi exists for exactly 2 panels in Boruto.
But her design is so good. Why would they do
Yeah,
that?
uh, because if they keep reminding you of how many strong people there are in Naruto, you might to start think that Boruto is pretty fucking dumb. Maybe you might think that if they remind you of how many Naruto characters they have. So yeah, Naruto lives with a terrorist,
Thank you.
and he's like, you know what? You're a lot like me, kid, in the sense that I have a tailed beast in me, and everyone hated me, and no one liked me, and you're a known terrorist, and you're full of robots. Uh,
Those are not like you'd like. That's comparing apples to a fucking PlayStation. Hey, this is
you,
my fruit. It's just like my PS5.
it's just like it. And the Kawaki has a karma marking for, oh, this guy. He's so fucking cool, Ryan. He's Ishiki Otsotsuki. I think at one point I told you about this one anime Naruto tuber guy who had like a version of him that was also Thanos, and I showed him to you, and I think that was probably the hardest I'd heard you laugh about Naruto in a while at that point.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I
but
remember because he had the stupid horn that like curved around his head.
yeah,
His
so
design was atrocious, and it's like, okay, surprise final boss of Naruto aside, she at least looked cool. She looked like a
yeah,
godly character.
she did, and Ishiki was supposed to be her partner.
Yeah, but he looks
Uh,
like a fuck. He
yeah,
looks like a clown.
so the whole thing with the Otsutsuki, we're getting into some more world building now. So here's the retcons.
Oh,
All of
goody.
the Otsutsuki, they travel different dimensions, and they go to different planets, and
Fabulous.
they plant a ten tails.
Okay.
So they have a lot of ten tails. A ten tails is basically
A
a
potato.
garden, a potato. It's a garden starting kit. A potato.
So what is the fucking one-tailed beast a rustic potato because it's tiny?
It's a spud.
It's a fucking spot.
It's a spud. That's what it is. Um,
but it's a
uh,
what? That
no,
doesn't make any sense.
I'm laughing, but if I stop laughing, I'll cry. Um, so the ten tails is a tool that the Otsutsuki use to they plant it they plant it on a planet,
Got it.
and then they feed it an Otsutsuki member. So that's why they always travel in pairs, and that's why they need a karma marking. That way, they can feed them the weaker of the Otsutsuki, so the stronger one can cultivate the Ten Tails into a god tree by absorbing all of the chakra on the planet, and then they eat that chakra fruit.
Wouldn't that mean
So,
their race would be like non-existent
hard to propagate, to say the least.
if half of you fuckers are constantly killing each other? Like,
Well, that's why they have the reincarnate, but they also don't mention how they like breed or anything. Like, they don't talk about.
I mean, they'd have to do it the traditional way because that's how God Lady did it.
Yeah, she did do it that way, but they don't talk about like their culture other than being this. They don't say anything else about like like what does the Otsutsuki world look like? Do you have one? What's your culture like? What do you do when you're not doing this? And they don't answer any of that, and I think it's just because there is no answer.
When you
Because
fucking think about it, they did a bunch of shit that sounded cool and edgy.
yeah, so it makes it hard to understand one how they exist and two how they'll continue to exist. Because if this is it sounds like it's a purely combat application, which is not a very good thing for a master race.
No, they would be outnumbered instantly. Unless,
Outnumbered and outgunned.
yeah, especially because idiots like Naruto can just pop, or Boruto, or any of these other clowns. Like, again,
Uh,
I want to point out, Ino would fucking dominate them very quickly. She could just take over their body and then they're dead.
it's something that you might have missed in all this. With the Ten Tails being a potato, means that Naruto,
Is half
the kid
potato.
with the demon fox inside him, at his absolute strongest, was approximately half a potato. And that fucking kills me that you have annihilated all of Naruto's storytelling, all of the fucking like all of the drama and the strife in Naruto wrestling with the nine-tailed fox. He was wrestling with a quarter of a whole potato, and his dad had the other quarter.
It's very thrilling.
Oh my god, it's so bad, Ryan.
Like, how
Oh,
did this shit even get approved? Yeah, how did this even get approved? Like, who the fuck is the author still alive? Did he say, "Oh, this is fine"? Is he just not involved anymore? Or?
this is when he came back.
Oh,
Because they were shitting the bed so hard on Boruto that he's like, fuck, I gotta take this back over.
and that's what he
Uh,
chose to do.
that's what he chose to do with that. Um,
Okay, not what I
so,
would have done.
no, I don't think many people would have annihilated all their world building in one chapter.
To turn Naruto into a guy with
Half
the
a
potato.
potato,
Yeah, a guy with half a potato sealed inside of him.
a small fry.
Yeah, that's why he's blonde. And it's actually planned.
It's always all of the Naruto iconography. He's always been a small box of French fries.
It was planned the entire time.
God damn it. Um, so uh when Kaguya and
Tear it up.
Ishiki came to Earth,
Got it.
that was the plan. But Kaguya was actually the weaker of the two Otsutsuki.
Of course she was.
So she somehow got a sneak attack on Ishiki and fed half of him to the Ten Tails, and that was enough. His legs, to be more accurate. She fed like his legs, and I'm assuming from the waist down, because he's wearing a cloak, you see, which is also flesh, but also not.
So, like, Madara's flesh cloak, but.
But somehow worse.
Yeah, because she didn't have
Actually,
a she didn't
no.
have a flesh cloak. She just had clothes.
As it turns out, that was also a flesh cloak.
Oh,
They all just have that,
okay.
and like Momoshiki has like a flesh veil, so it's
It's even worse.
I don't know. It's even more yucky. I don't even. What the fuck did you do? But I would say Madara's and Obito's is definitely worse than Ishiki's. Ishiki's at least looks like clothes.
Okay.
But the Kaguya fed the bottom half of Ishiki to the Ten Tails, and Earth. Oh man, you'll never believe it. Earth somehow cultivated the strongest chakra fruit that anyone had ever seen, and that's how Kaguya got to be so powerful. Is because Earth itself was already so powerful, even though she was the progenitor of chakra, and without her, it wouldn't really exist on Earth in a meaningful way. But except that you're wrong, and it did because there was already a huge amount of nature chakra on Earth from like all of like the summoning animals and just all those already existing nature sages. Those all existed, but chakra came from Kaguya. Except it didn't, but it did, but it didn't. Does that make sense?
No. But
Okay, good. We're on the
I
same
accept
page.
your premise.
We're on the same page.
Yeah. I accept the premise. Doesn't make it good.
Yeah. So, and then Kaguya's son Hagoromo learned Toad Sage mode from the Toads, and he became the god of Shinobi or whatever. So even the guy who spread chakra had to learn it from the Toads. So it was already there. Nature chakra totally existed well before Kaguya ever showed up, but it didn't exist without her.
That's
So,
it. Totally
so
makes sense.
fuck you. So fuck you. Did you care about this? Well, you can go fuck yourself.
I for one, like my world building consistency, so none of this sounds great.
No, none of it is great, and it makes me very sad.
But who knows? Maybe the net rest of the story you tell me will make me turn around and go, this sounds actually pretty insightful and amazing.
Well, I'm sure that's what they wanted you to think too.
I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it is. So somehow that cultivated the best god tree fruit, and Kaguya was the only Osotsuki that ever awakened to a Rinne Sharingan to do the Eye of the Moon thing. No one else did it except someone who did it better, but not the same. Who he traveled through so many different dimensions and so many different planets and ate so many chakra fruit that he ascended past godhood and possessed something called Shinjutsu. That all of ninjutsu, genjutsu, and taijutsu is just a pale imitation of. He could summon storms with a whisper. He could rewrite mountains with a wave of his hand. He was super god to save God or destroy God. And his name was Shibai Otsutsuki. And he looks like someone you'd see at a fucking weed shop. It's really funny. Like, just picture a guy.
Like, is it a wee-tastic Shaggy?
Imagine if Shaggy had hair down to his waist, and he had horns on his head that looked like two halves of a mixing bowl with a gap down the middle. That's Shibai Otsutsuki.
That sounds horrendous.
It's pretty fucking bad.
Is it worse than curling half horn?
I'll say so. He definitely looks more divine than half horn, but only in the sense that like Jesus wore a robe and looked like shit. So like, you know, it's not exactly like a huge leap in logic. But Ichiki just looks like a guy who owns a fucking karate dojo. If I'm being honest, he doesn't look very imposing. It's like he's very Sensei Dave, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, I get it.
So yeah, Kaguya did all that. Crazy powerful. How did she do it? I don't know. But Ichiki, to survive, crawled inside the ear of this poor, defenseless caveman named Jigen. and was ratatouilleing Jigen this whole time.
Wait,
He put he
but
put a karma he put a karma marking on Jigen. No, Ryan, shut up.
but but they
Don't
were
ask
past
questions.
cavemen when she came to the world.
Huh?
In the anime, they show like when Kaguya first pops up in the world, they're like in a weird China without magic or chakra.
Yeah.
So how the fuck was there a caveman running around? Was this primal? Just a mix
Uh,
mash of everything plus caveman?
like a caveman monk.
Fucking genius. All right, continue on with this cancer.
So, yeah, he did that, and he was ratatouilleing this poor caveman this whole time. And he put a karma marking on it, but Jigen's body was too weak for his karma to work, and so he abducted a bunch of kids, Orochimaru style, and he did a bunch of Orochimaru style tests to put a karma on the kids, and that's what resulted in Kawaki. And once he put a karma on Kawaki, he's like, I want to be the best alien in the world, so I will be a robo alien. And so he had Kawaki get all of his fleshy bits replaced with nanomachines, and that's why Kawaki is nanomachines. And Jigen's body is failing Ishiki, and he will die soon. And then, oh my god, you'll never believe it, Ryan. Oh, it's so the drama. Kashin Koji, this man with white hair and toads, he is a clone of Jiraiya.
If it wasn't for that my headset was plugged in, I would have just fucking set my switch down and walked away. That might be amongst the stupidest things you've said this about this so far.
So Kashin Koji is a clone of Jiraiya that this other guy who is Ninja Tony Stark. His name is Amado. Amado made Kawaki a robot, and he made Delta the lesbian fuel girl who fought Naruto. Oh, well, we haven't gotten there yet.
The suspense is killing
But
me.
he made all the robots. He's very strong in science, and he made Katasuke really cream his jeans when he saw how advanced his technology was, and it was so crazy. But this is the information that Kawaki's given us so far. And then Kashin Koji and Delta are looking out over the Hidden Leaf, and they're talking about like the Hidden Leaf has like a sensory barrier that identifies your chakra network as you enter the village. So if you're not registered with the village, if you enter, they'll know instantly. They have a whole sensory team around the clock that is trained to know and memorize every citizen's chakra signature, and when a new one is registered, they have to learn that too.
Makes perfect sense.
So yeah, it's like that seems like kind of like anything proof shieldy, but it makes enough sense. I'll buy it. You know,
you would definitely want something like that after Itachi was able to walk in, or Pain specifically. Yeah.
Well, the Itachi example will make less sense. The Pain example makes more sense because Kashin Koji is like, Delta, you stay back, let me go in there. And she's like, why would you be able to do it? And he's like, huh, you'll see. And he goes in there with no issues because he's a clone of Jiraiya. Even though they don't bring it up. They would still be able to tell it's Jiraiya's chakra signature and be like, hang on a minute.
Yeah, wouldn't that be like he's dead?
Isn't that guy a bloated corpse at the bottom of the ocean in the Hidden Rain Village? No, they don't. They don't do that. He manages to sneak all the way up to the Hokage office just to stalk Kawaki until Delta gets frustrated and decides to be evil because she's evil, and then attack the Hokage office and then bring them out to like a field because Naruto pushes her out to a field, and it's like, oh, it's like a really big fight to like kind of show like, oh, this girl's really strong if she's fighting Naruto, but it turns out Naruto was holding back, and then when he stops holding back, she's still on even footing somehow. And her whole thing is her legs can do a similar thing to Kawaki,
But why
but
just
she
her
can also,
legs?
because sexy, you know? They're
No,
like
that's stupid.
stiletto heels. They're like stiletto heels that turn into lava stones, right? It's sexy, but they're pink instead of orange with her yellow lipstick.
That sounds
Um,
awful.
and so she does that, and she also has a drone that flies above her that
Another fucking
has
drone?
another fucking drone, but this one's like a triangle, and it just gives her like a third eye that is like an aerial viewpoint of the map, and is also a cloud server.
Right?
What do I mean by that?
Yes, what do you mean by it's a cloud server?
So both of Delta's eyes are scientific ninja
Of
tools
course they are.
that, of course they are. Their powers are disintegration vision, that is meant to stop people with regen powers from being able to regenerate.
Sounds like you
If
should
they get
probably
hit
do a
with,
bit more than that, but okay.
I mean, they shoot out lasers, and the lasers are so destructive that they stop regen powers. And they're also cameras.
Yeah, because it's the same thing.
Yeah. And the cameras stream a video feed to her drone, and that drone streams a video feed back to Kara's headquarters.
Perfect.
And it backs up all of her memories and and all of the information she's acquired. So if anything were to happen to her body, she could be rebooted into a different body.
I, okay.
I wonder if that'll come up.
No one's ever really known.
So she fights Naruto, and Naruto's pretending to be weak to get information out of her. And then Kawaki calls him out on it for some fucking reason. Also, Himawari's with them because Naruto's like, well, we're escorting a terrorist around the village. Of course I want to bring my daughter to work today.
But
And
he didn't even give enough of a fuck about his daughter to go to her birthday party.
no, he didn't. No, just a really bad dad.
He's actually a shittier version of Goku. Because Goku at least has the excuse that he's not very educated.
But he's trying to be a good dad only to Kawaki, which is really
what the fuck?
It's really funny. It's really funny.
At least Goku thinks he's being a good dad because he's like, I'm gonna teach my kids how to beat the shit out of things because that's what I like to do. The fuck is Naruto's excuse? He has a bajillion shadow clones that can do his job for him.
Well, you see, he and Kawaki are the same because Kawaki's a robot and has an alien in him, even though Boruto also has an alien in him and is his actual son. Naruto is still currently only half a potato. So he fights Delta, and then he starts getting serious, and then they're still on like even footing, and one of Delta's eyes can also absorb ninjutsu, so he tries to use like Rasengan on her, and she catches it with her face and absorbs it. And it looks really dumb.
It looks as stupid as it sounds.
It is more stupid than it sounds. I wish I could just beam it into your brain. But yeah, he does that, and then Delta breaks out her disintegration beams, and she's like, if you get hit with that, not even a monster like you will be able to recover. And then Naruto's like, ooh, gosh, I shouldn't get hit by that. And then Delta's like, wait a minute, you were a fucking idiot and you brought your kids here. I'm gonna take the daughter because she's a non-combatant, and she's like, give me Kawaki or I'll fucking cook your daughter. And Naruto's like, huh. I'm expecting anyone in this fucking manga to use tactics, but here we are. So then Naruto's like, fine, release my daughter. She's like, okay, and does the evil thing and throws Himawari into the air for Naruto to catch her. And as soon as Naruto jumps, she shoots disintegration beams at Himawari to hit Naruto and Himawari. It's like, oh, that's actually not a bad plan, because that would be the only way you could really beat him, I would assume. But then Kawaki jumps in the way, and he burns his right arm to save Naruto, and then Naruto is like, "Oh, thanks, Kawaki. I don't know why you did that." And Kawaki's like, "Well, because I'm a robot, and you're not." And Naruto's like, "Huh."
That could just be a good excuse to get close to Naruto, like to get close to him and kill him.
Yeah. Uh,
Like a totally fake assassination attempt to get the real assassination attempt likely to happen. But
yeah, whatever. No one here thinks about fucking anything, man. They're all fucking empty. So Delta does that, and then Naruto's like, "Ooh, now you made me really, really serious." And then he goes to use Rasengan on her again, and she's like, "That won't work." And he's like, "Okay, bigger Rasengan." And she's like, "That won't work." And he says, "Okay, ultra big Rasengan." And she says, "Okay, that still won't work." And he just keeps increasing the size of it. And he's like, "Ultra big ball Rasengan." And she's like, "That's still not working."
why not
And
just summon a couple of the chakra tails and just rip her in half?
or just fucking, while she's distracted, summon a toad on top of her, or fucking something. Or do anything else. But instead, Naruto's like, "Well, if she's absorbing chakra, surely she's keeping it somewhere." And it's like, yeah,
But
where do you think it's going? And for whatever reason, Naruto ends up being right. And there's a battery. She doesn't just vent it out if she takes too much, even though she has visible vents in her back. And it's like, you didn't think to like make that part of her design functional. It's just not even in flight does she use that.
it's just an aesthetic.
It's it's just an aesthetic choice. So she can't vent excess chakra, which is so dumb. And he ends up overloading her eye with an ultra massive big ball Rasengan and cooks her, and then hits her with the ultra massive big ball Rasengan, which, mind you, is about the size of a 7-story building.
Wouldn't that completely eradicate just everything around them just due to the wind force coming from the damn thing?
It puts her just as deep into the ground. And then he's like, and he says one of the most brilliant things in the world. He says, "Don't touch her. I want to take her alive." Like, a regular Rasengan is supposed to be ultra lethal.
Yeah,
You have just You just put this girl in the biggest chakra blender on the fucking planet. I She's not alive. But it turns out, yes, she is. She was alive at that point. And they get close, and then she self-destructs her own body, and then her drone is like, "Backup data created," and flies away and goes back to Kara's headquarters, where they have 3
presume.
caskets, or 3 like little cryo chambers, and one was open. The drone connects to another one, and another fresh Delta body walks out of it.
So
So it didn't
fucking
even fucking
lame.
matter. So lame, dude. So none of that mattered at all, not even a little. And so she's like, "I'm gonna go right back." And then Amado is like, "No, don't." And she says, "Okay." And then Boruto and all of them go back to the village, and to fix Kawaki's arm, Naruto gives Kawaki his prosthetic arm, and it's run by Naruto's chakra. So Naruto has to constantly be feeding Kawaki's right arm his chakra.
Why
And he's
not?
like,
Why though?
the excuse they give is because Naruto wants to be close to Kawaki,
But but
and
why though?
also the one that made more sense a little is it's kind of like handcuffs.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
Because if Kawaki does anything bad, Naruto can just turn off the arm, and then you're fighting the village one-handed. So it's like, I don't know why he didn't lead with that. That is the second reason in that order.
Makes a lot more sense.
It does make a lot more sense, but that's not what Naruto said. That's what Shikamaru says, because he's the only one here who's fucking thinking. But again,
Only sometimes, I'm sure.
Shikamaru's only playing with Naruto rules, not Boruto rules, because Boruto has no rules. Fuck you, you'll buy it. And yeah. So Kawaki has that, and then Kawaki's watching Naruto sleep because he's in love with him. And then Kurama comes out and he said, "Hey, quit being a fucking weirdo." And Kawaki said, "Damn, I guess I'll stop being a weirdo." And he's like, "You want to hear about Naruto?" And then Kurama recites all of the entirety of the Naruto manga to Kawaki.
Oh, okay.
Not kidding. Not kidding. In a single night. Tell them all of Naruto's exploits, and you get a little montage
That seems
of
like that
like
should take
every.
a bit longer than, a night.
I mean, this little recap of Boruto for you is taking longer than I thought it would.
Yeah, it's taken a few hours. We're at
Taking it, yeah,
an hour and 45 minutes currently.
and my throat's getting sore.
Yes, but I don't want you to
I
stop because this is amusing.
no, and I don't want to stop because you have to know. If anyone has to know, you have to know because we we called it. We were sitting there just like this. There's not a chance. It was dead on arrival.
This can only end one way.
So Kurama recites all of Naruto to Kawaki, and Kawaki's like, "Wow, I love him even more now." And he's really like looking at Naruto's sleeping form with Hinata sleeping next to him, all fucking moony-eyed, and it's so uncomfortable.
Do you think they realized how uncomfortable they made it?
No, because they didn't realize they wrote Naruto and Sasuke to be lovers. And they didn't realize they wrote Kawaki wanting to fuck his friend's dad. And it's like, oh man, you guys, you don't understand any kind of sexual tension at all. But you write it. You write it a lot.
You write it real good.
It's so weird. It would have, you know what they should have wrote? They should have wrote like a really weird, fucked up yaoi manga about a teenage boy wanting to fuck his friend's dad. That's what they should have wrote. And you know what? It probably would have been more compelling. But yeah, so Kawaki does that, and no one has an issue with it, except for Kurama. Somehow Kurama's the voice of reason, and I think that's really funny.
Nine-tailed beast that wanted to kill everyone. Voice
Yeah,
of
the walking force of nature, also part of the crew, voice of reason. Yeah, that guy. So then cut to Ishiki being like, well, Delta failed, so I'm going to. Oh, I'm sorry, I glossed over something. So in that black box that they found Kawaki in, there was like an encoded message that could only be interpreted by the Rinnegan. And the only person who has one is Sasuke. So it was a message meant for Sasuke with coordinates to another dimension where Ishiki has his 10 tails so he has another one.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's ready to go. And that's how Sasuke finds out about the pairs. Like you have Momoshiki and Kinshiki, and then you have Kaguya and Ishiki. And he stands on like the pedestal for like Ishiki, and he sees like a ghostly apparition of the back of Ishiki's silhouette, and he's like, "Oh my god, the power! Oh man, the power!" And then Jigen shows up and looks at his 10 tails, and he says, "Who's your good poses? Who's my good little poses?" And the 10 tails goes, like a fucking dog,
Beautiful.
like a fucking the potato world ender. Is a puppy, but like a big, ugly, like bull mastiff, and Then Sasuke reports back. He's like, "They got fucking 10 tails over there, bro. It's crazy." And they're like, "Oh man!" And then Ishiki, as Jigen, shows up in the village because he knows where Kawaki is at all times because of his karma marking, and he also has space-time ninjutsu, so he can just portal anywhere, whenever he wants. And in this case, he portals to Naruto's fucking living room. And he's like, "Hey, I'll be taking back my child slave now." And Naruto says, "No, it's my son." And Nishiki's like, "That's really weird. You have a son you're neglecting." And kicks Naruto through his own back door and then tries to leave with Kawaki. But he grabs the wrong arm and he looks at Kawaki's robot arm, which is nearly perfect, and says, "How primitive." And then Naruto goes Kurama Chakra Mode level 2, where he's got like the super cool makeup and all that, the whiskers that are really thick. And then Jigen's like, "Fine, I'll fight you here." And he pulls Naruto into another dimension to seal him there. And he's like, "All right, you're here now. Bye." Which was like, oh, wow, I can't believe they actually did that. That's exactly what I would have said to do because Naruto does not have space-time ninjutsu.
He doesn't have any teleportation power, so yeah, it's a good plan.
So I was like, wow, hey, good plan. But then in the same portal that Jigen was going to leave through, he gets kicked by an open-toed shoe, and lo and behold, it's Sasuke, because Sasuke has space-time ninjutsu.
He's just able to
And then, oh man, he's so cool. And he's there to save his husband. I mean, his friend. His friend. And fucking, then they have a big fight with Jigen. And he's crazy. He's using powers that they've never seen before, and they're like, "Wow, he's so powerful. I don't understand what's going on." And Jigen does this whole thing where it looks like he's using the Force, or just like imagining damage on people, and then they're damaged. But it turns out he has shrinking powers, and that's it.
I thought he had teleportation. Or does he also have that?
He also has that, but as far as like combat powers go, like his super cool combat technique that sets him at like the highest level of danger that they've ever faced is shrinking. Now, what does that mean? So when Jigen was like gesturing his hands at them, and then suddenly they'd be damaged, Jigen was throwing microscopic black chakra rods at them, and they would stick into their clothes or flesh like needles, and then as soon as they made contact, he'd expand them. So it's like, that's cool, but Sasuke can see at an atomic level. He's done that before.
Naruto can just kick those away.
And also Naruto's in his Nine Tails Chakra Mode level 2. They shouldn't even be touching him.
Yeah.
But they did. And the excuse for that is, well, they're just that strong.
The best
excuse. Even though they're microscopic and therefore the mass is sufficiently reduced, and Jigen's he's not like whipping these really hard. He's just sort of and like then they just appear in Naruto and Sasuke's bodies. Never hits a vital organ though. Crazy.
So he's not
or just throws 100. He only throws like 3 at a time. And it's like weird.
If only he were as cool as Kaguya.
Yeah, if only. But no, he's way cooler. He's way cooler.
My bad. He's the coolest. No one's been as cool as him.
And then Naruto and Sasuke are like, "Wow, this guy's a tough customer. We should do Majestic Attire, Kurama Chakra Mode, Susanoo." That one where they put Susanoo on Kurama.
Yeah.
And so they do that, and Jigen says, "How pitiful." And then he just punches through it, jumps through it, and kicks Naruto and Sasuke out of the forehead and takes it down face form because he's just that strong. And
It's like they
there,
learned the wrong lessons from Shonen, just in general.
I yeah, it's just like
Which is
okay, so
very
he can
bizarre
just
because Naruto is very it's a pinnacle shonen.
it's one of the greats. It was.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Not anymore. I mean, Naruto still is, but Boruto has trivialized most of Naruto into fucking oblivion. But yeah, he does that, and they're like, "Oh fuck, well that's not gonna work." And then Jigen, I think he just gets tired, and like they just kind of wore him out, and he said, "All right, well I'm going home." And then he just does. There's no conclusion to the fight. He just got tired, and he's like, "You know what? I got nothing but time. I'll do this later." And so he just goes home, and then Kashin Koji is like, now's my chance. And it turns out that the reason Amado cloned Jiraiya was specifically to kill Jigen. There are many stronger people than Jiraiya. Jiraiya is strong, but
Orochimaru was stronger than I thought.
Orochimaru is stronger than Jiraiya. But
Naruto, Sasuke, Itachi, Hanabi,
uh,
Kakashi.
yeah, well, at the end, Kakashi was stronger than Jiraiya. But yeah, I mean, he's still a strong guy in the top 10, but not at the top of the top 10.
Yeah.
I would say Itachi would definitely be way stronger than Jiraiya. Even though I like Jiraiya more, it's just a fact.
Yeah.
Um,
Itachi is like one of the strongest characters in general because he's bullshit.
and also Batman.
Yeah.
He's aware of everything at all times, and don't try to stop him. So Kashin Koji, fuck it, Jiraiya is like, okay, now's my chance, and so he goes back to Kara's headquarters to assassinate Jigen, and the whole thing is that apparently Jiraiya had a summoning contract that we did not know about, and that was Amado's ace in the hole. Because the karma marking can absorb any kind of ninjutsu, but and they do another thread that is kind of cool. It's also dumb, but it is kind of cool. In the fight with Sasuke and Itachi in Shippuden, Sasuke's ace in the hole was Kirin, which, if you remember, Sasuke basically just makes a lightning leash and pulls actual lightning from the clouds. So it's not made of chakra; it is just lightning.
10,000
And
degree
all,
lightning.
yeah, so it's not a jutsu. All jutsu imitates forces of nature. So it's like fireball jutsu is not fire; it is just chakra with the properties of fire.
Yeah.
Regular fire in that amount would be stronger. So if you had a fireball jutsu versus an actual fireball rocketing towards someone at the same size, the fireball would be stronger than fireball jutsu. And it's also just not made of chakra. So Jiraiya had a contract.
Fucking disconnections.
Splatoon didn't want to hear it either. So Jiraiya had a contract not only with the steam toads, which are somehow different than the regular toads, but he also had a contract with they call it Fire Mountain, but it is just a volcano. I don't know how he convinced a volcano to enter into a symbiotic relationship with him.
Wait. So
But he did.
if you could just summon a volcano, why didn't you just summon it and Pain falls in and dies?
because of the collateral damage, and also they didn't think about it. So shut up.
Oh, okay.
He basically, because Jigen just wore himself out fighting Naruto and Sasuke, he's like, I wouldn't have had a chance on my own, but now you're slow enough to get hit by this. And so they have like a fight, and Jiraiya uses his toads and his better Amaterasu. There's a name for it. It's a dumb name. It's very like verbose and mystic and blah 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 blah. But then he uses his Fire Mountain summon. Oh, I'm sorry. Tony Stark defected Kara at this point, and he's now infiltrated the Hidden Leaf. He took Shikamaru's kid hostage, threatened to kill him with a saw-style shotgun collar.
All right.
Yeah, pretty metal. But then he reveals that it was all a fake, and the one that he used to like demonstrate it was like the only one that he had. And he's like, Kirsten was never in danger, but I want protection if I defect to the Leaf. And then he has his fucking crystal ball hologram eyeglasses, which are somehow attached to one of Jiraiya's steam toads. So whatever the steam toad sees, Kashin, or not, Amado's camera can also see.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know how that works. So that's how Naruto and Sasuke and all of them are seeing this fight between Jiraiya and Jigen. And Amado is like, yeah, so this is how you really kill an Otsutsuki. You just have to get to a point where they can't put a karma marking on someone, even though Kawaki still has his karma marking. How did he lose it?
The plot said so.
Oh, I remember it. Because Kawaki wasn't fully like a the data transfer between Ishiki to Kawaki wasn't complete. So if they killed Ishiki now, then Kawaki's karma would disappear. Even though that's not how Boruto's works, because Momoshiki is already dead, but Boruto's karma is still around. So I might have to reread that part. Oh, I'm not. I'm gonna look it up. But yeah, so they're like, if you kill him now, and he doesn't have Kawaki, then he's fine.
And then I have to come back to my real son.
I should. You know what? After this game, I'm gonna look it up real quick because I'm missing something. I'm missing how Kawaki lost his karma. I think Amado took it away from him somehow or something because it is just data, but it's stupid. They make it look like it's a physical thing, like a microchip in their hand that is like a splinter and just like flakes off into their bloodstream until they become an Otsutsuki. And they do this really funny fucking panel that shows Momoshiki in fucking Boruto's clothes to like be like, he'll take over your body. And he looks ridiculous. It is so funny, but it's played completely straight. And I'm like, there's no way. There's no way you thought this was cool or scary. But somehow, I forget how, Kawaki doesn't have his karma. And then Amado is like, watch Jigen kill him. And so then Jigen, watch Jiraiya kill him. And then Jiraiya summons the Fire Mountain inside Kara's headquarters. And Jigen's at like the center of it. And he tries to absorb it with his karma marking, but he can't because it's a volcano. And so he burns away Jigen's body and forces Ishiki. Oh no, that's what it was. I remember now. Because Jigen had a karma mark on him already, and it was more complete than Kawaki's. Ichiki had to revive using Jigen's karma rather than Kawaki's. That way Kawaki wouldn't have to, he would lose his karma because Ishiki would have revived Jigen. And that would mean Kawaki gets to keep the power he already obtained, but he has no risk of being Ichiki's vessel anymore. So they forced Ishiki to revive early, and that erased Kawaki's karma. Makes
Obviously,
sense?
that makes perfect sense.
Of course.
If I put my potato seed inside of someone else, but then I use someone else's potato seeds, all the other potato seeds disappear.
Yeah. Even though Orochimaru's don't work that way.
Yeah, Orochimaru's don't work that way.
Orochimaru's work way better.
All these characters are just shittier versions. Just fucking basic Naruto characters.
It's very upsetting. It's very dumb. So they force Ishiki to revive early, and then Kawaki's karma goes away. So Kawaki is free of the karma, and Ishiki is back at full power, but he'll still die in like 3 days without a new vessel because he's so weak. His Jigen's vessel wasn't very good because he was a caveman.
Caveman they could live in for 10,000 years or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and keep him alive 2,000 years. He managed to keep this weak, feeble man around for 2,000 years, and he's like, I want the Robo Boy.
I want to be the Robo Twink.
I want a face tattoo with number 4 on it.
He's just so cool.
So, then Ishiki revives, and then immediately he kicks Jiraiya's ass because of his Shrinky Dink power is also a dojutsu that kind of works like Kamui, but kind of not. It works like Kamui in the sense that he can pull things from another dimension and put things in another dimension, but he can't make himself intangible. And he can't shrink down people unless he makes contact with his hand from his eye power. Makes sense?
Totally.
Of course.
I'll be honest. With all these stupid fucking bullshit eye powers, he probably would have been cooler if he just had something simple like Fire Punch. If he was just a guy called Squid.
Yeah. Or he had he had infinite mana.
Yeah. For fuck's sake. But continuing on with his fucking cavalcade of whatever the plot needs him to do.
So the things that he can pull out of his pocket dimension are those black rods, like Pain used.
Yeah.
And then also these big fucking metal cubes with like red highlights that one, they're heavy as shit because they're made out of solid metal. They're the size of like a 5-story building. You can just pull that out of anywhere and just drop it on you.
Just bigger is always better.
And they also disrupt sensory type skills. So they're called disruptor cubes.
Wait, doesn't he have eye powers?
Uh-huh.
Isn't an eye a sensory power?
No, and fuck you.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
How dare you?
Actually, no, that could have been interesting. He has a power that can fuck everyone over, including himself, so he has to be smart with it. That would be interesting, so of course that can't be it.
That would be stakes, Ryan. There are no stakes here. Where are they? We make them up as we go. The stakes are all in your imagination. So he can do that, and he crushes Jiraiya's left side of his body with another type of stone rod that he can summon that look more like ceremonial. And he does this thing. He does that, and he's like, Amado built you to die. You realize you were just a pawn the whole time. And then he crushes him, and he's like, any last words? And Jiraiya whispers something. And I thought it was actually kind of cool. And Ishiki's like, what was that? And he like gets closer, and Jiraiya's like, summoning jutsu. And a giant fucking toad comes up from behind him and swallows them both. And but Ishiki gets out of it, and then Jiraiya disappears, and we haven't seen him since.
He's not dead.
He's not dead, but I did think that was kind of cool. I'm like, hey, that is something I could see Jiraiya doing. That was neat. Too bad he's gone. That was like chapter 40.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Then Ishiki comes back to the village, and he's like, I need Kawaki now because I have 3 days to live. And then Boruto and Sasuke are like, all right, I guess we're going to fight you again. Or Naruto and Sasuke, my bad. And then, oh, no. I'm sorry. They tried to do a Pain's assault on the village, but just with Ishiki.
I'm assuming it turned out so much cooler.
Oh, so much cooler. He killed 2 Jonin and then scared a bunch of people because they're like, who is this fucking white guy that just showed up in the middle of the village? And why does he look so dumb? And then Boruto leaps at Ishiki and challenges him to a fight. And then miraculously, first time he's done it, Boruto's karma activates and Boruto uses a space-time ninjutsu by accident. And so he pulls Ishiki into a similar dimension where Ishiki just fought Naruto and Sasuke. And Ishiki said, also, kind of funny. He's like, okay, cool. You have me here. Now what? And then proceeds to whoop his ass and like break his arm. Just like, that was neat and all, but you just moved me a different place. You didn't do anything.
They're gonna beat your ass.
Yeah, so Ishiki starts beating the shit out of Boruto, and it's really fun. I liked it.
So how does Izuki show how cool and awesome he is to get out of this pickle of a situation? Or should I say, how does Boruto bullshit his way out of not dying?
Boruto bullshits his way out of not dying because his dad is the president, and Naruto and Sasuke show up, and they fight Ishiki, and then they're getting their asses kicked even worse than last time. And that's when Kurama's like, Naruto, I got an idea, but you're not gonna like it.
Neither do
and Naruto. And Naruto's like, it's fine, I'll take anything. And he's like, are you ready to die? And Naruto's like, I was ready since I've become Hokage. And Kurama's like, okay, we're gonna do this thing called Baryon mode, where you and I are going to collide our chakra together like nuclear fission. And that is going to create a new type of energy that will supercharge your body and basically boil your blood, boil your chakra, and destroy both of our chakra. But anytime you make contact with Ishiki, you will half his chakra. So, as long as you're making contact with Ishiki, he will be dying constantly. Are you ready to do that?
You know, that sounds actually pretty nifty as a good send-off to what's the character's final death? What's his last act of heroics?
Yeah.
Against the final boss. Unfortunately, I think you said this is around chapter 40, so I know there's plenty left.
There's plenty left. And so Naruto's like, yeah, let's do it. And he does Baryon mode, and it works. It works a lot like if Ninetales Chakra mode was also Ultra Instinct, but with the added touch of Death Touch, basically.
All right.
So every time Sasuke is irrelevant in this fight, basically, except for occasionally using his Heavenly Hand power with his Rinnegan to swap positions with Boruto, so Boruto doesn't fucking die. And Naruto just goes hand to hand with Ishiki. It's pretty boring in the manga. Not gonna lie, the anime fight was better, but not by much. But the premise was cool. It really raised the stakes for that little bit, and if Ishiki was the final boss,
would be a almost acceptable send off if it was written better.
Yeah. And so this works until Naruto starts to run out of chakra, and then Ishiki starts beating him back. But then Ishiki's like, he uses his dojutsu to look at the amount of chakra that he has, and he's like, "Oh, I'm like dead. I have minutes." And then he summons Kawaki to him. Oh, I'm so sorry. There's just so many stupid things that happen.
If you could just summon Kawaki to him at any point, why didn't you just do that to begin with?
Anyway.
Okay.
So I forgot to mention earlier, when Naruto effectively adopted Kawaki, because Kawaki wasn't a ninja, Naruto's like, I'll train you to be a ninja. And turns out Kawaki really fucking sucked at ninjutsu. So he was having a real hard time with it. And so Ishiki...
One or more players disconnected. God damn it. Alright,
God damn.
Fucking Nintendo.
So Ishiki grabs Kawaki, and then Sasuke uses his heavenly hand power to swap places with Kawaki. So then Ishiki starts beating the shit out of Sasuke, and then he has Naruto under his foot, and he's in a cooler manga. It would have been a cooler scene. He's like, Kawaki, get out here in the next 10 seconds, or I will rip his chest open and cover this battlefield in the man you love so much. And he counts to 10, and just before he's about to rip open Naruto's chest, Kawaki's like, I'm right here. And then he's like, good. And then Ishiki grabs Kawaki and plants his karma mark on him, and he's like, I did it. I won. I beat death again. And then, poof, Kawaki disappeared. It was a shadow clone. And then Ishiki started to turn into ash, and then Kawaki jumped on him from a cliff and disintegrated him completely. And it's like, wow, I really wish this was better. That would have been satisfying if it was.
Written better, and obviously a different set of circumstances leading up to that situation. It sounds like that could have been pretty cool.
Yeah. And then Naruto starts having like convulsions in his chest, and he's like, oh, well, this is it. And then Kurama's like, yeah, you take care of yourself. And Naruto's like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, I had to make sure you were ready to die before I sacrificed myself. And Kurama spent more chakra than Naruto did intentionally, so that way he would run out of chakra first. So they were both slamming chakra into each other to destroy it, but Kurama made sure he ran out first. That way Kurama would die and Naruto would live. And that was touching. And it makes me wish it was part of a better story.
And the ending.
Because the addition of like the new 10 tails and all that really makes Kurama feel like not that big of a deal.
Yeah, he's half a potato.
He's half a potato. At best, he's half a potato.
Fuck it, I can't believe they turned Kurama into a fucking potato.
Turn him half potato. He's not even a full potato. So then Kurama disappears. And it's very sad, very touching. Man, I wish it was better. But hey, that is what it is. I can appreciate the parts of that were good for that, and watching Kurama come full circle on like hating humans and then sacrificing himself for someone he hated and someone whose life he destroyed, and that person rebuilt his life. That's neat. Unfortunately, we're still in Boruto, and the next thing Naruto sees while reaching for Kurama, begging his friend to stay, is Boruto's big, dumb, stupid face saying, Dad! And then he's like,
I had to like you, son. You have dumb hair and wear a dumb jacket.
Naruto's. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. I forgot the other stupid thing.
Oh, of course there's more.
So, before that happened, Boruto was pretty chakra depleted when Oh, nope, I'm right. This comes first. So they do that. Oh no, I'm wrong. I skipped over the whole thing with Kara's other fat guy. Basically,
Why are there so many fat guys?
there's a lot. You remember that one scene I sent you where it's like, remember that time Naruto mercilessly killed someone? And then I showed you that picture of Boruto popping that one guy.
Yeah, it's a little... What the fuck?
So, what had happened there? It really doesn't matter at all. It's basically canon filler. Ishiki, the first time, tried to seal Naruto in a tea kettle.
In a tea kettle?
Well, because the whole arena they were fighting in was a giant tea kettle. And then the first time when Sasuke went back to the village to tell him that Jigen... This is before Jigen was dead. So Jigen tried to seal Naruto, and then he left that tea kettle in the dimension where that Ten Tails was, and Boruto found it. They fought him, and then Boruto... all you really need to know, big fat guy's power was a virus.
He had COVID?
Yes.
Okay.
So he had scientific ninja tools on him that caused super regen, and they were like vents into his blood, and his blood contained a virus, but it also contained the vaccine. So this is the now third fight that Boruto and his team have had as a team, because Mitsuki, Orochimaru's clone,
is that what he is?
used his... Yeah, he's his clone, because Orochimaru's body was too weak to use Snake Sage mode. So Orochimaru tried to make a clone that was strong enough to use Snake Sage mode. But he looks more like the Otsutsuki guy from the Naruto movie where they go to the moon. So people are thinking that Orochimaru
went to the moon somewhere?
Yeah, went to the moon and got some of that guy's DNA in addition to his own.
Okay.
Which I would buy, because Mitsuki's Snake Sage mode looks like Toneri's Tenseigan Chakra Cloak. They even have the same horn in the same place, and it's the same fucking color. But instead of like Truth Seeker orbs, Mitsuki has snakes. So, But regardless, Mitsuki uses snakes to bite this guy and extract the vaccine from his blood to give everyone the vaccine. And then Boruto uses Rasengan on him and fucking obliterates the top half of his body. But before he did that, he weaved one hand sign, and then as soon as he blew up the top part of his body, he just came back. And then he keeps doing that and evading lethal shots, and then Sarada's like, okay, I'll try that thing. And she turns on her Sharingan, and she's like, I've been practicing this jutsu, but I still haven't mastered yet. And it's fucking Chidori, because at some point, for like this super regen scientific ninja tool, they're like, Kawaki's like, there has to be a core. If it's this strong, it has to be a pretty big core. And they find out, or Sarada finds out with her Sharingan, every time he weaves a hand sign, he's just shifting the position of the core in his body. So she identifies where it is, and then she uses Chidori, masters it the first time she uses it in combat, crushes his core. He then turns into a 10-story tall octopus man.
All right.
Why? Why? Oh, I'm sorry. An octopus man in a singlet.
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to be naked.
Yeah, you don't want big fat bear octopus dick, do you?
Oh no, it has suction cups on it too.
And then one of those tentacles hits Boruto, knocks him unconscious. He turns into Momoshiki, and then uses a super big Rasengan to kill him. And then there's that. Why do I bring that up? Because just before Boruto woke up Naruto after his fight with Ishiki, Momoshiki took over, and while Sasuke was going to resuscitate Naruto, somehow Momoshiki got the drop on him and slammed a knife into Sasuke's Rinnegan in his face. So now Naruto doesn't have Kurama, and Sasuke doesn't have the Rinnegan. So in the fights going forward, they'll be more forced to rely on Boruto and Kawaki.
That's so fucking ham-fisted.
It is so ham-fisted and such like a non-gentle nerf.
Wait, no, that gets even dumber because isn't the whole Rinnegan and is like it gives you this the paths of life?
That's a pain, but yeah.
And he could just teleport one and just get that eye back, right? And they just don't bring this up.
Sasuke can also summon the King of Hell, step into the King of Hell's mouth, and be healed from any injury. That's something he can do. And you might say, well, he doesn't have the Rinnegan anymore. How could he still do that?
He probably did it before he had the Rinnegan.
There was a time when, in the Fourth Great Shinobi World War, when Madara came back using Rinne Rebirth, his Edo Tensei body had the Rinnegan. Then when it became flesh and blood again, the Rinnegan dissolved because they were currently in Obito's face. And Nagato. And Madara, with no eyes, still had control of the Geto statue, which is a Rinnegan power, and he could summon his Susanoo, which is a Sharingan power, with no eyes. So, Sasuke should still definitely have some of those powers. And also, Sasuke still doesn't have a left arm. So if they put the Hashirama Cell arm on Sasuke, that would be a mixture of Indra and Ashura's chakra, which would equate Hagoromo's DNA, which is how Madara got his Rinnegan, so Sasuke could just get another Rinnegan if he got another arm.
And these are all things that have been thought of within 30 seconds.
Yeah, these are all things that are established. And also, I have a dumb theory that Sasuke didn't get hit at all, and it's all just a genjutsu, because Sasuke's reaction speed and everything that we know about him, and also Sasuke has, because of his time in Orochimaru training, Sasuke has quite a few different sensory powers, including expanded vision and like a bubble of sensory around him. So I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility for him to react and cast a genjutsu on Momoshiki and everyone there. That's like, oh yeah, I totally got hit. So that way you wouldn't think of him as a factor.
It makes
I don't think that it does. It's still dumb because it's still contrived, but it's something that they've already established. Because he did it in the fight with Deidara, and he did it in the fight with Itachi. And he did it in the fight with Danzo, where Danzo's whole thing was like the Izanagi, where he could rewrite reality for the cost of one Sharingan. He just did it to like rewrite his death several times. And the way Sasuke beat him was he just cast a small genjutsu on Danzo to make the last eye that Danzo had on his arm look like it was open, even though it was closed. So Danzo thought the whole time he had an extra life, and Sasuke's like, "No, you didn't." Oops.
Yeah, oops.
So it's like, so it's a little thing, but I think he could definitely do it, and I think they might ass pull that later.
It's definitely something to ass pull.
It definitely is. It's also kind of a cowardly writer's tactic. Whatever. You've written all of these different things with no thought of how they interact with each other. These things are going to happen. So Sasuke doesn't have a Rinnegan, Naruto doesn't have Kurama, and then they have to have Boruto open the portal back to the village. And then
Naruto wakes up and sees Boruto's stupid face.
After seeing his one of his best friends for his whole life, the person who's actually been with him the longest, die. Yeah. So that's the end of that. And then there is one remaining member of Kara, whose name is Code. Code's power is dumb, but it's also a Shinjutsu, because of course it is, because Code is also a cyborg. And basically, he's got these really edgy claws, and he can leave claw marks anywhere. And then if he enters a claw mark, he can exit a claw mark anywhere he's put it, and he can pull things out of it, and it's instant. It's just like portals.
It's portals with an extra step.
Yeah.
Oh no, man! If Shinjutsu is supposed to be the super uber goober Jesus chakra powers, why the flashy fuck is his teleport just teleport with extra steps? Because he's part robot? Because they didn't think about it?
Both. And they even said, hey, isn't that kind of like the fourth Hokage's flying Raijin, in that he's just summoning himself different places? And they're like, no, it's totally different.
Oh, okay.
No, it's totally different.
It's different because we said so.
Even though Code has not really shown himself to be that fast. He's fast, but like, I'm pretty sure base Minato was physically faster than Code was. Because Code just relies on his fucking portals all the time. Whereas Minato could actually like run and do things. But now Code is being set up to be the new big bad of Kara, because he's the only person left. And so Code goes to a village where the guy with the virus was from, which is in like Alaska or some shit.
All right.
And yeah, because they're like fucking Eskimos. I don't understand. And I guess the one guy there was pretty well known, and there was like a bodyguard there named Bug. No shit, his name is Bug. And I know. And he's just like a sniveling, like gremlin type old man. He's like, our Boros was such a good man. And I guess this is a retcon they put in here as well, is that Kawaki and Code were not the only... Kawaki, Code, and Delta were not the only androids made by Amado. He also made 2 more, or 3. I can't fucking remember.
Too fucking many.
But they were stronger than Ishiki, and that insulted him. So Ishiki had Amado put them away And that is the girl with the god powers and her little brother, whose ability is reflect intent,
What?
which is very dumb. And then they added another like little contrivance to it after they introduced it, and I'm pretty sure when they introduced it, they didn't follow their own rule. But if he's touching somebody, if someone goes to use intent on him, whatever they intend to do to him will get reflected on the person who was trying to do something to him.
Shouldn't that mean that his sister clone whatever fuck with god powers, her god powers would just reflect back onto herself? Because that would also affect him.
No, because her powers don't work on anyone she's related to.
Oh, okay. At least they thought that far ahead.
You say that, but
It just clearly means that Sarada and fucking Sarada's related to her, but not Sakura or Sasuke.
yeah, which I don't understand how that fucking works.
Carefully.
Which made me think it initially when that happened in Sadara wasn't affected. I'm like, oh, so this girl's probably like Itachi's secret daughter or something. And I'm like, fuck, because she also has a dojutsu. It's called the Senrigan. I told you about that one already, right?
Wait, who has the what?
The little god girl.
Yeah.
The Senrigan is a dojutsu that allows her to observe any point on the planet at any given time.
Yeah.
So as long as a conversation is said aloud or an action or something is observable, she can observe it, and she can also go back in time and observe it as though we're like a recording, as long as she's been alive.
Yeah.
So
that's
15
totally
years.
Balanced.
Yeah, totally balanced. She can also fly, and she has her charm ability, which later you find out is actually just a byproduct of her real ability, which is omnipotence. She's completely omnipotent, doesn't know it, even though that's not how omnipotence would work.
You'd assumably know you're omnipotent because I'm assuming you would sit there and go, most people don't just know everything like I do.
Most people don't know everything, and somehow that reflects in people just wanting to love her, and that's her charm ability.
It's very, very fair and balanced.
Very fair and balanced. And the charm is so effective to where they cannot act against her. If they know it is something that will affect her negatively, they cannot do it.
She's literally Mary Sue then.
Uh-huh.
Do they think that means people are gonna like Boruto?
Apparently it fucking worked. Because a lot of people are like, yo, Boruto just got real. And it's like, it's more contrived now than ever before. What are you talking about? And like, this girl looks like a fucking Gucci model. And it's like, yeah, but it's Boruto.
Her design is awful.
That doesn't make sense where we are. Her name is Ada, and her brother's name is Daemon.
Ada and Daemon, my very Japanese fucking ninja names.
Well, they're not ninjas, remember?
Oh,
yeah. They're little gods.
They're just gods. You know, if they're gonna do something that stupid, they can at least go with like Adam and Eve.
You know, fucking, I would have rolled my eyes just as hard.
It will at least be more themey. The Ada and Daemon. Or they just pick Daemon because like he's gonna be evil like the demon. He's gonna be the true final boss.
His power is so strong, but it's also kind of inconsistent. Because once they were released, the guards at this Alaska base were like, "Oh, get them! We can't let them go free!" And one of them tried to swing a sword at Daemon, and as he raised the sword, the guard's own head flew off his shoulders because he was gonna decapitate this kid. I think Daemon's like 11 or something. Uh,
I'm sure he's going to be very smart and insightful, more so than every other adult character.
it seems like he's very spoiled and likes to take naps. But yeah, I'm also positive he's got like some ancient wisdom in him or whatever the fuck. Who gives a shit? God, I'm so angry. So angry. What did they do?
So they escape. So Ada and Daemon escape prison.
Yeah, because Code let him out, and then Code is affected by Ada's charm, and Code's like, "I think I'm in love with you," and she's like, You're not. That's just my ability. You can't act against me willingly." Oh fuck, we're fighting Kanye West.
Oh shit.
Fuck Ryan.
I'm.
Ooh,
Oh no, my Jewish blood.
we might get canceled for this one, man.
My Jew
What's he
blood.
gonna say?
Oh no, my Jew blood.
You know, blacks are the real Jews. Oh fuck, we gotta get out of here.
Been canceled. Oh, this is great.
So, Code tries to recruit like Ada and Daemon because he's like, Kara's gone, Ishiki's gone, but Ishiki appeared to Code as a Force Ghost because Ishiki tried to put a karma on Code, but Code was incompatible with it for some reason. So Code has what's called a white karma, which is what happens when you're incompatible, but you still get some of the karma powers.
That's because they thought Ishiki was such a cool character. They're like, we need to bring him back. In case we need to bring him back. That's what it sounds like.
Well, Ishiki cannot revive through Code. At least for what they've said so far. And at this point, now Code is trying to break into the village to get Kawaki because Ada has told Code how her powers work, and how they work is it's that the charm ability cannot affect anyone who is related to her by blood, and will not affect an Otsutsuki. And so Boruto and Kawaki at this point are both almost 100% Otsutsuki. So they will not be affected by her ability. So I think the actual number they said was 87%. That's what. So Boruto and Kawaki are nearly 100% alien at this point, which is from a writing perspective and how far we've strayed from Naruto, I'd say is pretty fucking accurate.
Straight fucking alien.
Feels pretty fucking alien to me, man. I really feel alienated right now. So Ada's like, cool, I want Kawaki to be my boyfriend. Go get him. And so Code goes, okay, I'll go get him. And then in this meantime, Kawaki's starting to feel kind of down because now he doesn't have his karma, even though when he had his karma, all he wanted was his karma to be gone. And then Amado is like, if you want power, just go ahead and take it. Just go ahead and take the power, Kawaki. And it's really cryptic, and it's like, oh, what does he mean by that? And then they're like, Amado, why are you helping the village? You seem really shifty. I don't fucking trust you. And he's like, well, I didn't like Ishiki, and I have my own reasons. And then Amado starts telling him about Code, and how Code is actually super duper strong, but he had to place a limiter on his strength. Otherwise, he would have been too strong.
So fucking dumb.
So
this is an act like the actual like the stereotype of Dragon Ball problem. Oh, we just beat the strongest person in the universe. Oh, what's next? It turns out there was another strongest in the universe.
Yeah, but this one's even more strong and more evil and more dangerous.
Yeah, it's that stereotype, but actually serious. It's a common like shonen stereotype, but it's usually not actually associated with like Dragon Ball. It's actually more of a Bleach thing, I think. I'm not the most familiar with Bleach. So I could be wrong on that, but it's still fucking stupid.
It is stupid, and it really contrives a lot of things. I feel like any shonen that goes on long enough begins to run into this problem, and you're just better off ending it, or taking place in a different part in history, or something.
Taking a break, at least, to figure something out. It's more interesting than I hit you harder.
I think Boruto could have been way more compelling if it happened 200 years after Naruto, because at that point there's enough time to where everything could have realistically reset to the point where Boruto would at least make some kind of fucking sense. Because right now it really doesn't. So Code goes to the village to try and find Kawaki, and he leaves his claw marks, which he can project, but they don't come like off of his hands. They might in the anime, but they certainly don't in the manga. It's more like just
stretchy fingers.
Line of sight, and he moves his hand in front of it, and he can put claw marks down. It's pretty dumb. But it doesn't look like he actually uses a substance, but he says that it's a mixture of his own blood and chakra, so the karma can absorb his claw marks. Because then he would be completely invalidated. He would be fucking worthless. But
stupid claws.
So stupid claw marks. The claw, fear the claw.
It's dark claw without the awesome.
He has big dumb fucking claws. Big meaty claws. And he uses those to infiltrate the village, kind of. And then Kawaki's feeling bad about not having power, and Amado keeps telling him fucking conspiracy theory shit. And then something happens between Amado and Kawaki, but you won't know what it is. And then Kawaki runs away from the village, and immediately Code finds him. After the whole Hidden Leaf's been looking for Code, they're like, where is this guy? Where is he? Well, it turns out Code was hiding with the Ten Tails the whole time. And the only people that could find him would be Kawaki and Boruto, because Sasuke doesn't have space-time ninjutsu anymore. So, God, it's exhausting talking about this fucking train wreck.
It's entertaining, though.
I'm gonna sleep good tonight. I feel like I've been working out all day. I also feel like emotional distress. My heart feels empty. My body feels cold.
It'll make the sweet release of sleep all the better.
It's like it's like you're an officer, and I'm telling you how I witnessed my son die.
Don't lie, you'll love your son much more than Naruto loves Boruto.
Hey, it can't be a worse dad than Naruto, I suppose.
A fucking para-elite. I'm still baffled that they did that to him in the fucking movie. Where they're like, yeah, dude, he couldn't even be fucked to go to his daughter's birthday, and he not as fine with this.
Yeah.
And so is Himawari when she's 6.
The only person who's like, hey, this is fucked up is Boruto.
Yeah, which is honestly the most relatable part about it. He points that out. Unfortunately, the rest of the fucking character is Boruto.
Yeah. And then Boruto keeps happening.
Yeah. Fuck, when we watched it and your internet cut out right when he jumped down and killed Naruto.
Right when he kicked him to the wall and then looked down at Boruto, it's like, that's the end of the movie.
It was great.
He put them both down like dogs.
It was so fucking good.
That was one for the books. Watching Rise of Skywalker on that bootleg was one for the books.
That one was amazing, especially with the gambling ads just popped in. Right when it's
did the lightning and the fucking dollar bills came out.
I need to get a copy of that. I need to find that again and just upload that part. I need to upload just that part to YouTube. It was so fucking funny. But All right.
Most entertaining part of Rise of Skywalker.
Most entertaining part of Rise of Skywalker. This is healing my sickness. The dastardly common cold.
That'll be a killer. You better watch out for that. We don't have treatments for that out here in
Venezuela.
Denmark. Denmark. I've been watching Vinland Saga, so I've got 11th century politics on the mind. Which I don't know if you've seen Vinland Saga. It's good.
I've not. I've never even heard of
it. It was kind of hyped up to be a lot more like graphic and violent than it really was. People are like, "Oh, it's like Attack on Titan, but with Vikings and like gore, like Hellsing." And I'm like, "Oh, that's a pretty graphic description." It's nothing at all like that. There's a few kind of graphic scenes, and there's a lot of insinuated like pillaging and raping because Vikings and but pretty tame, and it's a lot more of like a political thriller than anything, and not political in the sense of like actual like government policy, but just like people trying to get ahead and fucking each other over at every turn. More that sort of thing. And a little bit of violence in there. But it was good. I finished the first season today. Yeah, I'd recommend it. I'd recommend it. It 24 episodes. It's entertaining. I really like the character Asklad. He's just a dick, and he's really smart. And he's just really good at being a dick to everybody. And I love that because he's consistent.
Unlike when you first read the fucking Boruto description,
where no one's consistent about anything. Did I tell you that Boruto can fly? We're not there yet, though. So it's not a joke. He can do that. So
you're killing me.
I've been dead for a long time. It was about the time I heard the name Boruto. The man you knew was gone.
The last time I felt happiness was before I fucking found out Boruto existed. Oh my god, where were we?
If they had even picked a different name, it wouldn't have hurt so bad.
It's so bad. Like, you could say, like, Goku and Gohan and Gotenks all sound too similar, but, like, compared to Naruto and Boruto...
It doesn't work like Goku does.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like Gohan does. And also, Gohan was the name of his grandpa.
Yeah.
That one at least makes sense.
In Goten, it's like, oh, Chi-Chi does love Goku, so fuck it. It's kind of like Goku. Something. But fucking Bort?
Boruto doesn't work.
No, it's just an ugly name.
It'd be like if you had a kid and you named him Shmayan. It's like, oh, what the fuck?
What the fuck does that even mean?
It's like, did you mean Brian? And it's like, no.
No, I meant Shmayan.
Ryan. Yeah, Ryan Shmayan, whatever. If I had my son, I named him Bon. It's Sean Bon.
It's Bon. He's Bon the immovable. I'm gonna make sure he eats nothing but Snickers. I don't want him to move. Ever.
Oh, maybe I should name my kid Barney, and I'll name him Bon. No, I don't think I could. Not for the joke. I don't even like the name Barney that much.
I don't know, man. The memes might make it worth it.
Barnes is a cool name. Barnes Bon. John Bon. Maybe it's not such a bad idea after all. You know, maybe I'll write my manga. Bonuto.
It sounds like even the name Boruto sounds like a fucking like early fucking 2008 fucking DeviantArt name.
It sounds fake.
Yeah, It just sounds like a fucking cringy OC. Like
Yeah.
all the fucking terrible, like, I'm not Sonic, I'm Tonic.
I'm Blonic.
I'm Blonic. I'm Bamey Rose. You know, just
Yeah,
it doesn't sound real. Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
just awful.
All right, where were we? Before I got completely sidetracked. Captain Dipshit got a hold of other Dipshit.
Yeah, oh yeah. So Code got a hold of Kawaki out in the woods by the Hidden Leaf. Kawaki's supposed to be under surveillance, but because he's no Otsutsuki, apparently another fucking power they have is they can erase their chakra signature.
Oh, of course.
And the guy that Naruto has watching Kawaki is only looking for Kawaki's chakra signature. So he can erase it, and then he made a shadow clone and put the shadow clone in his room. But Boruto can sense an Otsutsuki's chakra signature. So he knows where Kawaki is. So Boruto follows Kawaki out, and then Boruto and Kawaki fight Code, and then Naruto yells at Kawaki's bodyguard. And then Naruto's like, I'm gonna go after him. And Shikamaru's like, you can't, you don't have Kurama. And then Naruto's like, yeah, there was a really long period of history where I was still the strongest guy here without Kurama. And then he immediately enters Sage mode, and he's like, let's go get the kids. And it's like, yeah, he does still have other things, I suppose.
It's still obscenely powerful, that is true.
It's still the strongest guy in the village by a long shot. He's just not absurdly stupid, sickeningly powerful.
He's no longer Jesus.
No longer a demigod.
Right.
Just a hero priest.
He's no longer Hercules. He's just the guy Achilles. Mercules.
Mercules.
We gotta go get the kids. Do you even know what that means?
I gotta go get Kawaki and his friend.
I gotta go get my son and his friend. Oh, you mean Boruto? Who?
Oh yeah, him too.
So bad. It's pain.
Oh, it's true though. They really just took Naruto and slammed him right through the mud. But Kawaki and Boruto fight Code, and they're winning, then they're losing, then they're winning, then they're losing, and then they're losing bad, and then Naruto and Shikamaru show up, and then Shikamaru walks over one of Code's claw marks, and then Code just goes up behind it and threatens to kill Shikamaru, and then Momoshiki decides this is a great time to take over Naruto or Boruto's body, and then he does, and then because Code was losing so bad, Momoshiki was like, all right, I'll fight Kawaki so I can kill Naruto. And then Kawaki's like, no, you won't. And then they start fighting a little bit. And then Momoshiki is like, don't get cheeky, Code. And then with 2 fingers makes a Rasengan and then ultra compresses it into a little bullet and calls it Rasendan. But like Rasendan is how it's spelled. So it just that'll be my second son's name. It'll be Bon and Rasendan. And he shoots it through Code's shoulder like a fucking bullet. And Code's like, fucking ouch. And then hides away in his little claw mark. And then Kawaki's like, I can't let you get away with it. And Boruto Momoshiki is like, but I am gonna get away with it. And then Kawaki's like, all right, let me remember something real quick. And he remembers Amado being cryptic. And he's like, if you want the power, just take it. And Kawaki's like, okay.
Said that.
And I just picture him as fucking Nathan from South Park. If you want it, just take it.
Nathan's a way cooler villain.
Nathan's a way cooler villain than Amado. Uh, but so then Boruto goes to hit Naruto with a Rasengan, and Kawaki gets in the way of it, and suddenly he's absorbing the jutsu, and it turns out that Amado had restored Kawaki's karma. And you know how when Boruto gets possessed by Momoshiki, he has that big stupid fucking horn on his head?
Yeah.
Well, Kawaki has a horn that looks like Ishiki's on his head now.
With that hair, that makes it even... Just in my head, that makes it even worse.
It looks... They're so... They play it so straight, man. It looks so fucking dumb. It really is like Edgy's first manga. And
my cool and my darkness.
But when Kawaki activates his karma, he activates like a baby version of Ishiki's dojutsu. So he can shrink himself. He has access to that dimension. He can make those cubes. He can make those rods. He can make the big ceremony ones too. And they're like, oh, it's just starting out. But in all senses, it's just as powerful, if not more powerful, than what Ishiki was already demonstrating.
It's just because Ishiki was so cool.
It's just because he was so cool.
He was cooler than Madara and Itachi and Zabuza. All of them.
Orochimaru.
The B guy from the B filler. Still the worst fucking filler I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was very bad. Very bad. However, that entire filler arc is better than the entirety of Boruto.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
It had more compelling character moments. You had a little relationship between Naruto and Hinata, which does not exist in Boruto.
Yeah, you just keep going on and on about fucking Boruto, and I know you said it earlier that they're just not really in it, the other characters, which is really fucked up. But it's from what little I've seen of it and what little you sent to me, that sounds completely reasonable. Hell, even just the complete lack of art for other characters just makes it seem even more believable.
Yeah, it really is a fucking travesty, but it's also not, because they didn't have any other ideas for like the characters' kids. They're just like, down, only do what their parents do,
but better.
but better, immediately better.
They're just so cool. Fucking, he grows a horn with that fucking hair though.
And then he can absorb jutsu again, and then Code's like, whoa, that's crazy. And then he's like kind of plotting from one of his claw marks, like he's sitting in a fucking puddle.
Yeah, I'm so cool at my puddle.
And he goes to just kind of like hide out for a little bit. And then Boruto and Kawaki have their big fight. And in the fucking anime, I was so angry. Do you remember in the final Naruto and Sasuke fight when Sasuke starts weaving ninjutsu with Naruto's hands?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking great. And it's like, whoa, what like a mastery of ninjutsu that you're weaving it with someone else's chakra. Well, Kawaki does that to Boruto.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like frame for frame. I'll send you the fight.
I don't know if that makes but I do.
It's just so dumb, and like Boruto starts flying around like a fucking Goku, and he uses like his big Rasengans and stuff, and then at one point he gets conscious enough, and he's like, "Are you ready for this, bro?" And Kawaki's like, "I'm always ready, bro." And Boruto's like,
"You made bro."
Yeah, he's like, "You made a promise, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did." And Boruto's like, "You make good on that promise." And Naruto's like, "No, don't do it." And Boruto uses like wind style on Naruto to push him away like the Force. and then they run at each other, and then Kawaki explodes Boruto's chest and fucking kills him in front of his dad.
What? He fucking explodes his chest open?
Yeah, let me send you the picture from the manga. Actually, I screen captured it immediately.
That doesn't sound believable.
That's because it is unbelievable. Bon appetit. That's that to you over text.
Okay, I'll look at it 1 second. Okay, I just got it. You know, I should be playing the game, paying attention to that, but this is very entertaining.
You also get to see part of Kawaki's stupid horn.
What the fuck? What in the actual shit fuck? He shoves his Gora hand through him.
Yep. And so, in that moment, Boruto is dead.
Well, I would hope so. How the like? I don't recall. No, actually, no, I can't say it. I don't remember. I don't recall in Naruto, not Boruto or Shippuden, but I don't recall them having that insane level of surviving giant gaping holes in your body. Maybe
there was one instance in the first Naruto Sasuke fight where Sasuke used Chidori on Naruto.
Yeah, but that had the Jinchuriki bullshit healing.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense because it's the most powerful tail at the time. It was the most powerful tailed beast.
Yeah, and you know that it was like Naruto already had like an insane healing ability, and it made sense. It was like, oh fuck, this guy is so dangerous. Oh my god, that's the power of the Nine Tails.
He's basically unkillable. That's amazing. You know, like a traditional sense.
Now it's half a potato.
Now it's half a potato. Can't. He's got a fucking giant crab claw shoving through his body. Like, how just continue.
So
how does he plot his way to victory?
Well, we're not there yet, Ryan.
Oh no.
So Kawaki's like, good. That's one more Otsutsuki dead. Because at that point, Boruto was more Otsutsuki than human. And then he goes after Code, and Code's like, oh, fuck, I can't deal with this guy. He was already kind of kicking my ass a little bit before, but now, with my limiter on, there's nothing I can do. So Kawaki goes to attack him, and Code has this stupid fucking claw mark on his forehead. And from his forehead, he pulls out Daemon. And Kawaki's about to hit Code with a fucking grenade. But he sees Daemon, and then Daemon reflects the grenade at Kawaki and knocks him out. Even though he decapitated the guy with a sword, Kawaki should just be gone.
He should be
with the rules you just established, he should be missed.
So, from the revealing of Ada and Daemon to this point, how many chapters has it been?
12?
Feels like 30.
Yeah. it got dense, but it didn't get good.
No, it just sounds like a cavalcade of shit. Goddamn disconnections. It sounds like a cavalcade of just nonsense and bullshit.
And it is that. Don't
worry, it gets worse.
It does get worse.
So he knocked his own dumbass out with a grenade. Boruto's dead. Naruto is No, he's laying down. Could be better.
Boruto's dead.
Oh no, what are you sending me?
I was sending you the picture of Kawaki blowing himself up. And how fucking dumb it looks in Code's dumb claw marks.
He fucking reaches his hand into his forehead.
Yeah.
What a fucking
Love you, good night.
What kind of fucking design is this? Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, so dumb. So edgy.
I have a fucking 9-year-old sticking out of my forehead. It's a fucked up Fooly Cooly.
Yeah. If Fooly Cooly was fucking super ham-fisted and contrived. Which, I mean, Fooly Cooly is more slapstick than anything, so, there's that. Still better than Boruto.
It looks so bad.
Not a high watermark. So Kawaki blows himself up with Daemon, and Code sneaks a little claw mark onto Shikamaru's back. And then Code makes another claw mark, and he escapes through that. Little known to everyone else.
Alright, I'm back, and this has been incredibly enjoyable.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm glad I'm not reading the fucking manga, that's what I got to say.
You're getting a much more worthwhile experience this way, let me tell you that.
I'm assuming each chapter is probably like 30 or 40 pages, too. Or are they...
A few of them are like 100 pages.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my
Definitely
God.
not all of them, but some of them are pretty fucking beefy.
Yeah, because I know towards the end, a lot of the Naruto chapters were like 10, 12 pages, and you're like, okay. My Hero's the same way right now. It's just what happens when they start getting weekly.
Yeah. But Boruto is monthly.
Yeah. God, could you imagine how awful it would be splitting all those chapters up to fucking 4 parts?
Could you imagine if they actually had a story to tell?
That's gonna be crazy.
They fucking don't. That's why Boruto's going on hiatus. So return in September.
Really?
Yep.
That is a long ass hiatus.
That is the very end of chapter 80. They're like, we'll return in September.
That is probably like, we have fucked up and we're not quite sure how to fix this.
What the fuck do we do at this point?
So mistakes have been made. Kawaki.
A lot of mistakes have been made. Kawaki blew himself up.
Yeah.
And that's the least of it. And so then Naruto and Shikamaru freaking out because Shikamaru's like, "Oh, we need to put Kawaki under arrest," and Naruto's like,
"But
really,
why though?"
Really fucking depressed. And Naruto's like, I don't know. And Shikamaru's like, "Hey, he just killed your son. He needs to be held accountable for it." And then Boruto wakes up and says, "Who died?" And the hole in his chest, the hole that his chest was, is filled in with like a black spandex material.
What?
And it turns out that when Momoshiki had taken over Boruto's body, that when Kawaki stabbed him, that did kill Boruto, but before he could die all the way, Momoshiki used the remaining 13% of his data to convert into Boruto's data to then restore the hole in his chest and the body parts that were lost. So that way Boruto would not die, and therefore Momoshiki would not die. But Momoshiki would never be fully revived, so that threat is gone. But Momoshiki can still take over Boruto's body if he feels like it.
That seems like a bit of a cop-out.
But now Boruto is 100% Otsutsuki. He is completely alien. If you couldn't already fucking tell by what's been going on. I wonder if they realized that themselves. They're like, huh, this is probably not what people signed up for anymore, huh? Not a lot to do with Naruto.
So wait, why would he bother healing Boruto if? Why would he bother to heal Boruto if he's gonna be fucking dead? Like regardless.
Because he can still have an influence over Boruto, and he still wants to see Boruto suffer.
That is such
Because
a fucking throwaway answer.
yeah, he can still see the world through Boruto's eyes, and he can still influence Boruto's decisions. And if Boruto decided to, he could give control of his body up to Momoshiki.
Why not just let Boruto die? I guess if there's that slim chance you can figure out a way to come back eventually, but
I mean, if you had all of a person's life to be a voice in their head and tell them to die, what's the point? Kill yourself. Let me do it.
yeah.
I would probably take that chance. If I'm an evil alien fuck with a flesh veil, I would do that. If I was just whispering in your voice and whispering in your head every day, hey, I'm still here.
Hey, give me control. Pain will stop.
Hey, this could all be over if you just pass me the controls. So it is a cop out, but it at least makes more sense than not. It makes more sense than if they didn't do that.
I'll admit
it
took me a few seconds to think about it. I'll admit.
I wish they had the balls just to kill Boruto off all the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that Boruto's the main character though, and no one else is important except for his dad's son.
Yeah, Boruto and his dad's son.
Yeah.
I have to go save Kawaki and his friend.
So it's like, well, Boruto's alive, gang. All's well that ends well, huh? What other cringe just happened?
Well, Kawaki was not very happy about that because somehow, in that instance, Kawaki got a real Eren Yeager kind of personality complex where he's like, all Otsutsuki must die.
Isn't he Otsutsuki?
Uh-huh. Yeah. And also now he has a karma again. But even though it's Ishiki's karma, they're like, hey, Amado, how did you do that? Why did you do that? And the how and why is not very satisfying. Because basically what he said, this is his explanation. Kawaki already wanted the power. I just helped him along. Why did I do it? That is the explanation of how Kawaki has his karma back. Because he wanted it. Even though it's data. But like mystic data? Essence of a soul and all that? But Ishiki's soul is gone, so it's just Ishiki's powers. But it's a karma that is just a weapon. So there's no strings attached to it other than being an Otsutsuki. So that's not very satisfying, if you ask me.
Why? How did I miss both of those? Yeah, no, that's not satisfying.
If I liked Kawaki even a little, and I liked the story even a little, it would be cool. Be like, oh, well, it's dumb, but at least it's cool, right? And it is dumb, but it's not cool. So that leaves me feeling hollow inside.
So Bort gets back up. They ask him why hey dipshit, why'd you do that? And he's just like, cuz.
Yeah, they ask Amado, why'd you do that? And he's like, well, Kawaki already wanted it. And he's like, yeah, but why would you do that? You don't really seem to no one knows what your deal is. And then Amado reveals that the whole reason he's a scientist and the whole reason he works for Kara, or he had worked for Kara and now he works for the Hidden Leaf, is that he had a daughter and then she died. And Amado was really, really depressed about that. And then he cloned her and tried to bring her back, but she didn't have any of the memories and was a stranger who looked like his daughter. And that was Delta. So Delta is the body of Amado's daughter. And that's why there's so many of her. It's because he kept trying. And then he's like, I just want my daughter back, and I think the karma is the way to bring her back. I need to keep running experiments on Kawaki to see if it's even possible to get her back through the karma. And if it's not, I don't know what I'll do. And it's like, that's...
something. It's at least a motivation.
It's acceptable.
Yeah, it's an actual motivation.
Yeah. And it's like, damn, wish this was a better story.
Very consistent theme.
Man, that's nice. If only it were good. That is the biggest through line through Boruto is man, if only it were good. So Amado reveals his motivations, and then as soon as he does that, and everyone's like, oh, so he's bending a lot of ethics, but he's at least human. It's a very human reason. I can resonate with that. He has a heart. Understood.
And honestly, like technologically, if he learns how to do that, that's quite the thing you could do.
Right.
Bring back the dead with all their memories.
Bring back
and shit?
the dead. And he used science associated with ninjutsu. So he did study Orochimaru stuff, but he was smarter in science than ninjutsu, so he was able to do it better that way. But then he says something stupid.
Oh. They almost had a good idea, so they had to fuck it up.
Yeah, they sure did. So he reveals that all of that shinjutsu that people have been using is all scooped from the corpse of Shibai Otsutsuki. Because once Shibai had eaten enough fruit and become so strong, he ascended to a higher plane and left his body behind. And so somehow Amado has revealed he's been scooping parts from Shibai. Ooh, I should find the pictures of Shibai. I mean, who looks like Shaggy Jesus with was it Madness? Looks like Shaggy Jesus with a split in half mixing bowl on his head.
Your description terrifies me.
So he scooped out all the shinjutsu from Shibai Otsutsuki, and he put a piece of him in each of the androids. I don't know which one Kawaki got, but that's how Ada has the Senrigan and her omnipotence. Daemon has his reflect intent. Code has his claw marks. The Ten Tails had like a summon storm shinjutsu. Oh, here's a dumb thing of... You're gonna love this. Here's a picture of Code looking cool for a manga chapter cover. And he looks ridiculous. He looks like a fucking little clown-ass bitch. God, I hate him. I hate him so much.
I love the fact that these chapters just baffled you so much you screenshotted them.
Yeah. I'm going back through this one. I thought I had pictures of Shibai because it was just like, damn, that is dumb.
How do you spell it?
Dumb.
I'll just type it in real fast.
I don't know. I don't remember how to spell it.
Shibai. Oh! What? That can't be real. That's not real. I refuse. Those aren't horns. What the fuck is with the faggoty goatee? I refuse to believe that's real, so I'm not going to acknowledge its existence. Oh my god, that picture you sent me.
That's Code.
He's so gay. Why is he just... The leather strap's not even attached to anything. It's just glued to his fucking head.
Yep. Here, I'll send you some pictures of Shibai as well. Alright.
Those are... I refuse to believe that's real. It's so...
Alright, I've made another salmon run room.
Right.
But yeah, that happens. And then Code sneaks back in through the claw mark he left on Shikamaru. And then he grabs Amado and he's like, release my limiters because it's something that you can only do with your voice. And Amado's like, no, I won't do it. Like, you can't make me. And Code's like, I'll hurt you. He's like, okay, I give in.
I don't want to be hurt now.
Oh, let's be reasonable. So he Code drags Amado through a claw mark back to the base in Alaska, where Ada and Daemon are, and then Amado starts trying to like sweet talk Ada, because he's known to be kind of like a silver tongued kind of guy. He kind of talk his way out of anything. And then Code's like, I'm not having it, and Ada's like, don't hurt him. And then Code's like, fine, I won't hurt him. And then he's like, but I'm gonna hurt him. And then Amado's like, oh no, don't do that. And he's like, release my limiters. And he's like, I won't do it. He's like, I'll still do it. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. And
Very
then
compelling.
Here is the code, the password to release Code's limiters. Are you ready?
Is it password?
This is no shit. This is what it is. I'm gonna find a screenshot. I'm gonna send it to you, but I'm gonna tell you what it is first, because I could not believe I was in my hotel room in training. I fucking guffawed. A real, honest to God guffaw. The password for Code's limiters is, there is no dress code.
What?
It's a pun.
Does it only work in Japanese or something?
Nope. That was the intended message. Like dress code. You know? Because his name's Code. And that makes Code's hair turn white, and for him to go super Clawmark Super Saiyan. And now he can make an unlimited amount of his claw marks anytime he wants. And what he does with that is he goes to where the 10 tails is and starts hacking it up with his claw marks. But what that is doing is he's separating the 10 tails up into little humanoids that look like the raptor people from that really, really, really bad draft of like Jurassic World.
Wait, so you take potatoes and you separate them, they become tailed beasts, but you put them into people and they become dinosaurs?
French fries, but yes.
Alright. Checks out.
So, because he wasn't separating them using like creation of all things or anything, he was just like brute force strong arming it. If that If that helps make any sense. It doesn't. I know it doesn't. But if that helps you understand, creation of all things would be the way to separate them out into tailed beasts. Code's method is yeah, just brute force. There's not really a better way to put it.
So he's gonna just create more tailed beast?
Doesn't create tailed beast. Well, I suppose each one of the 10 tails dinosaur things has a tail, so I suppose they are tailed beasts in a way. In the same way a dog is a tailed beast, is a beast with a tail. And so that's Code gearing up for the time skip. It's just him cutting the 10 tails into pieces to make an army to fight Kawaki and the Hidden Leaf. And he's doing that. And then Ada's like, you know what, Code? You're kind of a dick, and I kind of like Amado. And Kawaki is really cute. I like him a lot. So I'm going to leave you to be the only villain, essentially. And I'm going to go be with Kawaki because he's Otsutsuki, which means my charm ability won't work on him. So if he loves me, I know it'll be for real.
He's in love with Naruto.
Yeah. She doesn't know. She doesn't know he wants to fuck his friend's dad. Not even his best friend, just his friend's dad. It's so fucking funny to me. Oh my god. Sometimes I wish for death. And it never comes. So Ada defects from Code's version of Kara, and then she takes Amado and Daemon, and then has Amado call Shikamaru on a fucking payphone to tell him that they're defecting to the Leaf, and you better just make peace with that you've just acquired 3 terrorists again.
It worked so well
Shikamaru's like, but why would you do that? And she's like, because Kawaki's cute. And that's it.
It's a very, relatable reason. I don't know why you're so confused by this.
And they're like, come on, she's a girl in love. Have a heart, Shikamaru. Don't be such a fogey. And he's like, okay.
Well, that makes sense.
And so he assigns Boruto's team to watch Ada and Daemon, because Boruto and Kawaki would be the only people unaffected by her charm ability. And then this whole time, Kawaki's been brewing about Boruto because Kawaki tried to do what he did, and he thinks Boruto came back only because of Momoshiki. So he thinks that Boruto is Momoshiki, and thus an Otsutsuki, and thus has to die. And then he gets really edgy, and now we're getting to the part of the end so far, where they get into Boruto and Kawaki get into a fight, and then Boruto kind of goes to cool off, and Kawaki goes to see his love interest. And so he shows up at Naruto's house, and he's like, Naruto, I've always loved that kind of innocence you have about you. It's so cute. And Naruto's like, that's a weird thing to say to your dad figure. And Kawaki's like, yeah, but you're so weak now that you don't have half a potato in you. So I have to put you somewhere where you'll never get hurt again. And so Kawaki does his great value Kamui on Naruto and Hinata, and puts them in
funny way to put it. It's
he
not
puts them
wrong, but
in.
it's just funny.
He puts them in the shrinking dimension where time doesn't flow, and it was witnessed by the sensory ninja. So the sensory ninja is like, "Oh my god, Kawaki just killed Boruto or killed Naruto," and then Kawaki's like, "Yeah, and he'll stay there until I kill Boruto, so I can make sure he's safe." So
Naruto, my love interest.
Kawaki goes to kill Boruto to make sure Naruto stays safe because Kawaki's the only one who can fight against Otsutsuki now. And Boruto's like, "Hey, please don't kill me. I don't want to fight you." And then Sarada's like, "Come on, Kawaki, don't kill Boruto. He's not an Otsutsuki. He's just Boruto." And Kawaki's like,
Very
"No,
convincing.
no. As long as there's the chance for Momoshiki to come out, Boruto is the enemy." And then gets into like a fighting stance, and Sarada's like, "I'll fight you," and Kawaki's like, "Good, then you're as good as dead." And he goes to kill Sarada with his lava arm prototype sword, and then Boruto gets in the way, and Kawaki
I
cuts
just can't fucking
Boruto's
move.
eye.
Yeah, he cuts his eye to prove how dangerous and cute he is.
So now Boruto's got a big scar on his eye. And Boruto is also wearing Sasuke's headband that already has the cut on it.
Why does he have
So
Sasuke's head? Oh, right, he has it for no reason in the movie.
Because Sasuke gave it to him because he's like, "Please stop following me. Here, this has my scent on it. You can smell that now." And Boruto's like, "I'll cherish it always." uh, so now Boruto's got an edgy eye scar and an edgy headband scar. And he went to protect Sarada because she can't do it herself because she is part Sakura, let's be honest. And
Almost as bad as, not quite as bad as Part 1010.
no, not quite as bad as part 1010. Or 1010.
It's so
She's running a government funded weapons shop in a time of lightsabers.
She's trying her hardest.
Knives.
She really is trying her hardest. I do feel bad for her. It's not her fault.
I do feel bad.
Because
but you know, if the Hidden Leaf taxes weren't going into her store, it would have closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's only getting away with it because she's Naruto's friend. Well, classmate.
Naruto's not exactly not corrupt government. It's not a violent corrupt government. It's just normal corruption. So they go to fight, and Kawaki gives Bort an edgy face scar.
An edgy face scar, and then Bart runs away. And then a bunch of Hidden Leaf people come after Kawaki. And they're like, "We gotta get him. He killed Lord Seventh." And then Kawaki starts kind of like freaking out in the forest and realized, like, "Oh shit, maybe that wasn't a good idea." And then Ada shows up and she's like, "Oh my god, Kawaki, you're so hot. I'll do anything for you." And Kawaki's like, "I need you to help me make this go away." And Ada goes, and she hugs him, and then she rewrites reality in the universe.
That's one of those images you sent me of like the fucking thermonuclear explosion going off, right?
Yep. And then she flips all of the misdeeds and mistrust that Kawaki had and makes it so that way everyone thinks it was Boruto the whole time. So now everyone's like, "Why would you attack Kawaki, Boruto? He's the Hokage's son. Why would you kill your own father?" It's so dumb. It's like, if you can just do that, what's the point of anything?
How do you... Is that just so they could set up the stupid intro to fucking the beginning of Boruto?
Yep.
What about Himawari? Where the fuck is she at?
Oh, there was one part where fucking Daemon ran into her because he thought she was strong. And they're like, no, Himawari's not even a ninja. And he's like, well, she's a fucking liar because there's like strength in her or whatever.
My only thought is maybe they're gonna turn her into someone who Bort's gonna fight after the time skip, because I'm assuming there's one coming. You mentioned it at least.
Oh wait, here I'll here I'll send you this thing because even Naruto calls out Kawaki for being a fucking creep.
I wait with anticipation. Why does Ninja God look fucking stupid?
Because they always do. You can't hype it up and have it be good.
It's arrived. I'm grateful to you, truly. Okay.
This again is getting creepy.
That is the face he has.
That's what he says to him in the next panel.
God, they think he's so cool. Are we almost at the end of this fucking train wreck?
After that, now you're all caught up.
So just... What about the thing with Sasuke?
Oh, so that thing with Sasuke, right? We gotta re-go over that little bit of chapter 80.
Yeah.
So everyone is after Boruto now, and the new Inashika Cho trio tries to capture him, and they do with like the shadow paralysis and then like the big hand. And I didn't fucking get Momoshiki and Boruto's clothes. I gotta do that. It's so dumb.
So, having not actually watched Boruto in a very long time, is it as bad as it was?
Oh, it's worse.
It's worse.
Sean, you don't know this, but I've been recording this entire conversation, and it's gonna be fucking fun to edit.
I had a suspicion.
Yes.
I gotta get the fucking picture of him in his clothes. It's so dumb.
I knew I had to have it recorded the first time you ranted to me about it the week ago. I was just like, this motherfucker actually read all 80 chapters of Boruto in like, what, a fucking week?
Yeah, well, the month of March while I was in training, I was just like, I'll read Boruto. And then I was content. And then they're like, wait, it got dumber, and then it's going on hiatus. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'll read chapter 80, and then I'll wait till September to hear about it.
Then you'll be all caught up and be like, man, I hate everything. I'm going to go take my gun, and I'm going to kill everyone, and then myself.
There it is.
Oh, no.
I'm gone. And then someone made an edit. It's just like as low effort as Boruto is. Here it is.
The weirdest part is looking at all the panels. Like, they're not bad quality, but the designs of everything is awful.
Yeah, it very talented artists. It's just what they had to work with. Oh man.
Oh my god! What? Boruto's body will be overwritten by Momoshiki's data, and Boruto himself will completely cease to exist. I don't think Momoshiki would keep the fucking gay jacket and necklace. I'm gonna go on a limb there.
Of course he would. You see, Momoshiki's actually a zoomer. He thinks that shit's drip or whatever.
I'm Momoshiki. That shit drip as fuck. What does that even mean?
Oh, it was the last 18%. Boruto was 82% Momoshiki. And the last 18% was converted into the whole Kawaki Mage's chest.
That low effort one.
I love the low effort one.
It's so good. It's so good.
I like the fucking Stranger Danger Momoshiki one where he's grabbing his arms and is like rubbing his belly. Oh, so disturbing.
It's so awful. I love it. I don't know, guys. I don't know, Sean. I think it might be crazy. I think Boruto might be a work of art.
It might be a work, but you see, I think the problem is we're both just too dumb to appreciate it. This is truly high art, just like high fashion.
It's too big for my small brain.
Okay, so Boruto gets captured by Inoshikacho. The whole village is after him, and then Sasuke is like, "Well, I gotta go get him," and then Sarada's like, "Wait, if you go after him, this guy is super dead." So she's like, "Please don't go do that." And Sasuke's like, "He literally assassinated the president." And she's like, "I don't know why, but I think that's wrong." And he's like, "That doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna go kill a kid now." And she's like, "No, I must be going crazy. The world is wrong. I'm correct. Please don't go kill my slam piece." And Sasuke looks at her, and she looks back, and then she awakens her Mangako Sharingan through love. And Sasuke is like, "Oh, well, that's probably a big deal then, isn't it? Well, in that case, I'm going to go rescue Boruto and disregard the responsibilities Naruto left with me as the second in command Hokage. And I'm going to go train his assassin. And so,
assassin.
to be a better assassin to kill the president without getting caught. It seems like we always know who assassinates who. They're pretty bad at being ninjas.
They really are, and that's how it ends. So does Sasuke beat the shit out of the Inoshikacho trio, or?
Let me pull it up. Well, the title of the chapter is what Dad would do.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh fuck! The last thing Kawaki says is "bro." Yo. There's no way it was written with a straight face. Are you fucking kidding me? Alright, I'll send you the last couple panels to spare your fucking sanity.
Equivalent anticipation.
Alright. Here they come.
So you read it in March, and then it was just a couple of weeks. I think it was only a week or two ago you first really started ranting about it.
Yeah. I was like, I had to process this.
April 11th. You just lost your shit.
Well, because chapter 79, I didn't get up to that point, and then they rewrote reality.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, all right, I gotta tell Ryan.
Just the pictures I'm seeing for your crimes of stealing all that I hold dear. Who the fuck is saying that? Boruto, it's no use hiding anywhere so long as you are. It's a Tsuchigi, bro. Bring it on.
Oh, that's code saying for your crimes of stealing all that I hold dear, for killing Ishiki.
Bring it on. I'll show you till you're begging me to stop that I'm Uzumaki Bort.
Boruto, I'm begging you to stop. I am begging you to stop. Boruto, please go away. And that's all of Boruto. Your thoughts?
It sounds fantastic. much better than Dragon Ball Z, Gurren Lagann, Full Metal Alchemist, all pale in comparison.
I think in all of fiction,
It makes the
No
Lord of the
Country
Rings look like shit.
No Country for Old Men. God, that's poultry bullshit. Blood Meridian. I think you mean shit Meridian. William Shakespeare. Did he write Boruto? I don't fucking think so. Who the fuck cares? It's the pinnacle of humanity, the pinnacle of art, and never be surpassed. And I can't wait to see it in the Louvre. That'd be a fun vandalizing crime, to break into the Louvre and replace all these super old paintings with panels from Boruto. The most heinous crime in the art world.
Go to the Mona Lisa, just draw Bort's hair on it.
I'll replace the Mona Lisa with the last panel of him saying, "I'm Uzumaki Boruto, damn it." And people will come in and they'll vomit with disgust and be like, "Please stop. It's over. It should have been long over."
Yeah, the fucking part where Kurama dies.
Before then,
Well,
it should have ended with Kage.
it should have ended at Naruto. So
every time, every minute of every day that Boruto exists, it proves why it didn't need to be there.
yeah, it's just so funny that there's just this stupid forced fucking love triangle with Sarada and purple hair girl whose name I can never remember. Apparently, that comes out of fucking nowhere, according to you.
I don't remember her name either. Even Boruto doesn't remember her name. He calls her class rep.
It's just it's just awful fan fiction. I don't know what else to call it.
In a word, busy work. That's 2 words. In 1 word, contrived.
So you do recommend it?
Yeah, if I say so.
All right, I'll give it a read.
It's got a little something for everyone.
A little comedy, a little drama, a little bit of action, some world building, some romance between Boruto's friend and his dad. I agree with you. It should have just been a really fucking weird, out of its mind yaoi by the sounds of their relationship and those panels you sent me.
If I'd gone that way, at least I'd respect it.
At least it'd be funny.
Like, I didn't expect Naruto to become a yaoi. But you know what? At least it was consistent.
I mean, he was always supposed to fuck Sasuke.
He was.
I hate it. Any last words before I stop this recording? It's fucking 4 hours and 20 minutes. 4:20. Fucking 4:20.
Oh man. Last words. Read Chainsaw Man. That's pretty good.
All right.
But I got 10 missiles off right at the end.
So did I.
Oh, fuck these guys. Oh, it's so yucky. Oh, look at that. That fucking Pepto mixed with their Colgate. What is that little wiggle thing that this emote is?
I have no idea.
It's kind of humpy. I don't...
Not a fan.
No, not a fan, because these are kids. And it's also... Nintendo didn't like when Waluigi did that. Why are they okay when kids do it?
Waluigi's not as fuckable. He doesn't provide his own lube.
I guess not.
That's gross. Anyway.
Well, Waluigi doesn't have the cow costume mod in Smash now, does he?
Exactly. I want that. Anyway.